everybody. I'm Mike Patrick along with Joe Theismann and Mark Malone. Welcome to the NFL on ESPN. The Denver Broncos can punctuate what's been a tremendous regular season in record-breaking fashion tonight. John Elway needs 12 yards passing to hit 45,000 for his career and one touchdown pass to break the Broncos' single-season record. Terrell Davis can set a new Denver season mark for rushing touchdowns and total touchdowns with just one score, and a win would give Mike Shanahan a franchise best 14. But Joe, on the San Diego sideline, it is a totally different story.
Boy, it really is, Michael. Bobby Ross has never had a losing season in San Diego, and that's what the Chargers are playing for tonight. They're also playing to try and regain their home turf. San Diego's lost 3 of the last 4 at home, and Stan Humphries, among others, would like to really try and reverse that trend, a series of bad performances, really. With the ground game non-existent, I'd look for Stan to come out throwing early and often. And while it may not seem like much, Mike, the difference between 8-8 and 7-9 is certainly going to be enough to motivate every Charger tonight.
You're right, Joe, and as usual, Mark Malone will have his spotlight segments, but tonight with a special twist. Mark will look at some of the players in this year's playoffs and examine their potential impact on the postseason, including some of those from tonight's game. The weather is lousy here in San Diego. Scattered showers, sometimes harder than not. 55 degrees, and the wind could be a factor, blowing 15 to 25 miles an hour. Jason Elam to kick off to Andre Coleman. Coleman from the 4. And gets it back to the 20-yard line. For the Charger offense, Stan Humphries needs only one more touchdown pass to set a career high, even though he's missed 3 starts. Tony Martin going to his first Pro Bowl. He has 81 receptions for over 1,100 yards and has tied the club record with 14 touchdown catches. On the offensive line, injuries have been a problem, but Tony Bertie is a bright spot. Bobby Ross says the second-year man has really started to develop at right tackle. Freddie Bradley, the starting running back. He's the deep man in the eye. Humphries airing it out on first down, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Lionel Washington. The 14-year veteran has the 35th of his career, and Stan Humphries is really hot.
The only thing that could be, Mike, is a broken route. He was trying to throw to the inside. It looked like Tony Martin went on the outside. And I'll tell you, once that ball's out of your hands, there's nothing you can do as a quarterback. This is from the goalpost cam. He sets now. He's throwing his thing right where he wants to throw it. Martin just runs outside instead of taking it to the post. Tony Martin just sort of cruising out there.
First play and a turnover. Davis and Craver, the split backs. Elway with good protection, throws and incomplete out of the hands of Davis. Denver's offense led by Elway, number 3 all-time in passing yards, now number 1 in NFL history with 126 wins as a starting QB. Terrell Davis, the NFL's leading rusher. Tonight he'll try to pad his 139-yard lead over Barry Sanders, who finishes his season tomorrow night. And up front, Gary Zimmerman, voted to his 7th Pro Bowl, back after missing 2 weeks with shoulder surgery. Davis hit before he got back to the line of scrimmage and stopped by Ray Lee Johnson. San Diego's defense missing 3 of its top 5 linemen. Marco Coleman, who leads the front 4 in tackles, one of only 2 starters not injured. Junior Seau is everything to the Charger defense. Number 1 in tackles, number 1 in sacks, going to his 6th straight Pro Bowl. And Rodney Harrison, moved from free to strong safety, has become a key member of the secondary. He leads the club with 4 interceptions. 3rd and 12 for the Broncos. Elway goes to the gun. Straight 4-man rushing, too high for McCaffrey at the 25. Coverage by Darian Gordon. So 3 and out for Denver after the interception.
Michael, you could see when John tried to release that ball, it comes out funny. It's actually almost going to squirt out of his hand a little bit. The field is real thin, and once you get the ball from the center, it's hard to grip it. It just sort of squirts out instead of coming out with a normal release.
Zimmerman did a nice job blocking the blitzing Junior Seau, and here is Jason Elam with a 76.9 percentage, but that is under his career average. This will be from 51 yards. It would be his long of the season. He's got the distance and down the pipe. So Denver gets 3 out of the interception as Elam hits from 51 yards. We're in San Diego where the Broncos with a quick 3-0 lead. They have -2 yards in offense, but they have 3 points as a result of Lionel Washington's interception. Elam to kick again to Coleman. Back to the 1-yard line. And down at the 12. There's also a marker down on the play as Reggie Rivers with a nice job on special teams. Now we'll check the marker. The official tonight, Tom White, and he signals it is against San Diego. For Denver's defense, Alfred Williams has arrived in his 6th year with a career high in tackles and sacks. He's on the way to the Pro Bowl. Bill Romanowski has proven to be quite a free agent acquisition. The team leader in tackles, he has 124. And Tyrone Braxton tied for the NFL lead with 9 interceptions. Somehow he is not going to the Pro Bowl. Alfred Williams, it's amazing what home cooking will do for you. He played at Colorado, desperately wanted to come back here, and having by far his finest season. Now San Diego has to start from the 6-yard line after the big mistake the last time they had the ball. Bradley cuts it outside. The young man from Sonoma State has about 10. Alan Aldridge, the middle linebacker, made the stop.
Mike, what you basically have is you have a fairly quick Denver defense that really runs from sideline to sideline well, and you've got a big offensive line of the Chargers. Now they're just going to try and get on the corner and let Freddie Bradley use his speed. They do a nice job of sealing, and then he does a good job of doing some hard running once he gets outside.
Freddie Bradley, a 7th-round draft choice this year. The running game has not worked out the way the Chargers had hoped. Bradley showing a little power, will pick up a couple to the 28-yard line. When they let Natron Means go a year ago, it was going to be Aaron Hayden and Terrell Fletcher who were going to do the job at running back. Neither has done it, although Fletcher has done a much better job as a 3rd down back. Then they brought in Leonard Russell. He gave them everything he had as a runner. He is not a game breaker. He's a big, strong running back, but they have suffered, and that's not Bobby Ross football. Humphreys play action. Gets the quick throw out in the flat and has it complete to Brian Roach. It was funny what Bobby Ross said yesterday. He says, you know, I always like to establish the run. The heck with that stuff. We're going to come out winging it.
Well, I think they have to against this team. They weren't able to do it in the first game and keep the pace going. They lost a big lead. But now they're getting some good blocking up front. Look at that. They just stone everybody at the line of scrimmage. Jumpy Githers going absolutely nowhere. Stan Humphries very decisive on where he wants to go to the football.
Fletcher is in as the running back on 1st and 10 for the Chargers. Short set. And complete to Coleman after the 37, chased out of bounds by Braxton.
Mike, I like what San Diego's doing is they're throwing a lot of different looks at Denver, and they're really giving them a dose of their own medicine. That's what Denver likes to do on offense. They like to spread things out and make people try and find matchups. Ralph Friedgen says, hey, look, I'm coming out throwing. We normally want to run first, throw second, not in this game. We're going to set up our running game by throwing the ball. So far he has.
Bradley, no place to go. Brought down maybe a half-yard shy of the line of scrimmage. Michael Lotus, number 97, the former Buffalo Bill, made the tackle.
Greg Robinson's defense is #1 against the run in the NFL. Offensively, they run the ball better than anybody.
Number one.
That's the way you get the championships. But what you'll notice about Robinson's defensive safeties, Atwater 27 and Braxton 34, they will be up around the line of scrimmage making a lot of tackles.
Which is why you have to throw the ball to beat Denver. 3rd and 5. Humphries with a little roll. Another look right through the hands and intercepted. Picked off by Torrey James, the rookie. that appeared to go right through the hands of Tony Martin.
Merry Christmas. That's about the only way. Torrey James winds up with an interception that absolutely goes right through Charlie Jones's hands.
Oh, it was Charlie Jones, not Tony Martin. The second interception early for San Diego. 2 interceptions, neither one of which appeared to be his fault.
Well, this one, he tries to go to the inside route to Charlie Jones. Now, Charlie starts to go out, and that ball just goes off his hands. James winds up with it right in his lap. It's an early Christmas present.
We talked about San Diego wanting to go out on a good note at home. They've not played well at home. This is not a good start.
No, it isn't, Mike. As a matter of fact, we were here against New England about 3 weeks ago. They had 6 turnovers in that game. I hate to say this, but nothing's changed since we've left. And Stan Humphries is just not a happy camper.
Davis, the running back. Elway with time, dumps it over the middle. Davis made the catch, then fumbled the football. Now they rule it incomplete. Kurt Govea made the hit, and Humphries on the phone upstairs.
I'd be curious to see this one again because, remember, you have to catch it and get both feet on the ground to have it considered possession. John looks out to the right, then this comes back. Now, that's a catch. That's a bad call by the official. Watch this. You're going to see both his feet on the ground. Feet are on the ground. He's got possession of the ball. Nobody blows a whistle. That's a bad call.
They go back to the ground. Davis trying to pad that lead on Barry Sanders. Gets maybe a yard out of this one. Submarine by Terrence Shaw, who came up quickly from the corner.
Picked up by number 29, Terrence Shaw.
6th-round draft choice out of Georgia. Played junior college ball. Just a nice kid who has had a marvelous first 2 years in the NFL. The odds-on choice to win the NFL rushing title.
And battled through the migraines. You know, continues to try and figure out a way to make it work for him.
3rd and 8. Elway with time, and he's got a completion near a first down. And it is a first down. The catch by Anthony Miller, his 54th of the season.
Mike, one of the things that, you know, John told us last night, we had a chance to visit with him, is what this offense does now. It allows him with the running game to get the matchups he wants one-on-one in the passing game. Here he's going to be out against Darian Gordon, number 21. Miller's the inside receiver. He just presses it a little inside and just floats on out. You see McCaffrey clear the inside. Now Miller in the open field is as quick and as good as anybody.
Miller, the former Charger, picked up in 94. First down, Denver. Davis. Hit as he crossed the 15 to the 14. John Perella on the tackle. And John Elway has just hit 45,000 yards, only the 3rd player ever to do it. He and Marino and Tarkenton sharing virtually all of the NFL records.
There's the
Marino
company.
already over 51,000. And remarkably, none has ever won the big prize, the ring for a championship.
But, you know, I think they've been such a big part of the offense. You can't win championships without running the football.
Absolutely. Play action by Elway. Under pressure. Carswell, the tight end, close to a first down. Lou Bush and Harrison combined to take him out of bounds. Shannon Sharp not starting tonight because of a slight ankle problem. Of course, he's had a marvelous year, over 1,000 yards. There's Shannon Sharp. 6% body fat. And I got to be honest with you, I'm sitting on more than that.
He came in with 4. He's actually put some on since this season in training camp. He was down to 4.
He must have had a Snickers sometime during the season. Marco Coleman is the injured player for San Diego. They came in without Chris Mims, Sean Lee, and Reuben Davis, who all underwent some kind of arthroscopic surgery this week. So they had 5 linemen. That's all, 5.
But the other thing is, if Coleman can't play for a while, which it looks like they're just cleaning out some dirt in his eye, that would take the entire starting front 4 and have them not be available tonight. But it looks like just an eye problem. The thing about Shannon Sharp, Mike, that I found so interesting, he's never played 16 games in his 7 years. This was going to be the first season that he was going to have a chance to start and play every game. Wasn't able to do it.
And, of course,
Mike sat him down.
If the game had meant something to Denver, they would all be in there. Elway expected to play maybe 20 plays. And Coleman looks like he's going to be all right. 1st and goal from the 7. Elway throws to the goal line. No signal as a touchdown. It will be marked just short. Rod Smith made the catch.
Pass complete.
This is a great adjustment by Rod Smith. John's going to turn his hips. Watch when he turns his hips. As soon as he gets those hips turned, the power he puts on it. And really, Rod Smith just absolutely protects himself. Watch the hips. Right there. See how they get turned? That's the way you can make throws accurately, is once you get your hips and shoulders pointed where you want to go, the ball will go there.
Second and goal. Terrell Davis on the verge of a Bronco record for touchdowns. Will he get it? He will. Touchdown. Terrell Davis with his 13th rushing, 15th total touchdown of the season, both franchise records.
Brian Habib, number 75. Broderick Thompson, number 76 on the right side. They're just going to clear a path. The big guys just turn, and there's the hole. Once you get the big guys and their butts facing in a sideways direction, that's a place to run. That's like a big old swinging gate.
Elam for the point after. He hasn't missed all year. He's 46 of 46. 2 San Diego interceptions have given Denver 10 points here in the first quarter. 10-0 over the Chargers. Still 8:20 to go first quarter. And Terrell Davis studying the pictures from upstairs. He has set a franchise record with 15 total touchdowns, surpassing Anthony Miller and Sammy Winder. Elam getting leg weary in the first quarter. Coleman this time from the 5. This will be an illegal block in the back, right in front of the official. Keith Burns made the tackle. Monday, tomorrow night at 7:30 p.m. Mike Tirico and the gang preview the Monday night game between the Detroit Lions and the San Francisco 49ers. We'll have live reports from San Francisco, Chris Mortensen with the latest NFL news, and the best of backstage from NFL 96. Tomorrow night on Prime Monday. Don Sasa, the 5th of 5 available defensive linemen, injured on the sideline. Last series, they had Patrick Sapp, a linebacker, at defensive end. Chargers go back to work at their own 11. Bradley after the 16-yard line. Right now, if you're Stan Humphries, you're a little afraid to throw the football. He's thrown it perfectly so far.
I got to be honest with you, Mike. No. If you really go the other way, so now you're gritting your teeth. You're getting madder and madder. Now you're even going to try and throw it, make it easier for these guys to catch it. You figure, okay, one runs a bad route, one's got alligator arms. I'm going to hit him in the numbers with it if I have to. No.
7 plays, 2 interceptions so far for San Diego. Humphries, short set, throws from the flat, incomplete. Really his first bad pass intended for Andre Coleman. I don't think he was real fond of that route either.
Well, I think the receiving core has been a problem for Stan the entire year. First of all, it's young. You got Charlie Jones, Brian Stills. Andre Coleman really wasn't expected to play there.
Right.
Tony Martin really is the only guy that had experience and had a Pro Bowl year. But that's, I think, been the main problem for Stan all year, has been communication to his wide receivers.
And he lost Alfred Papuna, who was one of his favorite targets, the tight end who was hurt earlier. 4-man rush, good protection. Flag is down. The pass incomplete to Jones, who was open over the middle. Now we'll check the marker.
Pass intended for Charlie Jones, incomplete, and penalty flag off field.
And the Chargers will actually get a free play. They'll get the down over because of the illegal motion.
Illegal formation. Number 70, offense, not on the line of scrimmage. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
If it had been motion, they would have gotten the down over. The signal was motion, but it's an illegal formation. So it's 4th down.
They got to come up with a new signal for that.
Yeah. Rod Smith waits for Darren Bennett's punt. Beauty. All the way back to the 26. Smith looks for a block on the corner. Marked out of bounds at the 44. A 19-yard return after a punt of 57. Still 10-0 Broncos. Personal visit to his offensive unit, and I don't believe he was congratulating them on their early performance.
I think he's reminding them they have to focus on what's going on out here. It's their, Kurt Cavea put it as well as anybody. We had a chance to talk to him on Friday. He said, you know something? These are job auditions. When you're not looking at the postseason, this is a job audition for a lot of these guys.
And it's not going well so far either. Elway dumps it short. McCaffrey with the catch. John Elway, over the years, his production has increased. 10 years under Dan Reeves, 83 to 92, less than 16 touchdowns per season. Under Phillips in a couple of years, it went over 20, but under Mike Shanahan, it has really blossomed. 26 touchdowns a year under Shanahan and this offense. Second and 7. Elway, short set. That's complete to Byron Chamberlain. The tight end ball comes loose, and they'll rule it down. Picked up by Darian Gordon, but he won't get a chance to run it.
John Elway is really a different style quarterback now than he was back in the old days. Now you see the 3-set, fire the ball. He's getting some great catches out of his wide receivers. They believe in him. Mike Shanahan has shortened his drop down a little bit and given him a lot of places to go with the ball early. There's a nice adjustment. You got the receiver up. He's not down yet. Yeah, forward progress stop.
It is a first down for Denver. And a loss of 2 on the toss to Terrell Davis.
What I was saying before is what Mike Shanahan has done is he's put him in an offense where he can get rid of the football quicker. I think that does a couple things. First of all, it makes your offensive line feel like they can protect to nth degrees. The second thing is it protects the quarterback from taking a pounding. And at John's age of 36, and if he wants to play 2 or 3 or 4 more years in this offense, he's going to take a lot less hits.
And he has a running game he can rely on, with Davis leading the NFL on the ground. Second and 12. Elway hustling out of the pocket. He can still run and gets out of bounds. Here's John Elway's take on the dramatic rise in his production over the last few years, especially under Mike Shanahan.
The last 4 years under Wade Phillips and now Mike Shanahan, I've been given the ability to compete statistically with the other quarterbacks in this league, whereas the first 10 years, that really wasn't what it was about. I think that in my first 10 years, I made a lot more plays than I'm making now, but I was forced to, just because of the system.
And statistics are important to players. Even if they tell you they're not, they are. It's the first thing they look at.
Well, W's and L's to coaches, sometimes they say.
Third and 9. Seau comes on the blitz. Zimmerman picked him up. That one's tipped, and Miller couldn't get to it. Seau with the pressure.
And one other thing on John Elway, Mike, he also, I think, benefited from a heck of a coach in Jim Fossil, who he had under Wade Phillips for 2 years. I think that started to groom him into a much more disciplined quarterback. Jim Fossil is one of the finest teachers of quarterbacks, and in all likelihood could wind up as a head coach in this league real soon.
Tom Ruin will come on to punt.
Number 16, Tom Ruin.
Darian Gordon waits back at the 10. Ruin hangs it very high. But it takes a San Diego bounce into the end zone, so they'll start at the 20 after a 43-yard punt.
Well, we're talking about different people having to play in the down position. This time, Junior Seau gets down in the right end position, and as he comes, Zimmerman tries to get a hand on him, but he just stops. This is the new thing now. Once you're blocked as a linebacker rushing, stop, focus on the quarterback, and then time your jump to try and swat the ball down. That's exactly what he did.
Every game, every single play, critical to Junior Seau. Play action. Ouch. Guess who? When you hear a sound like that, it's got to be Atwater, and he just killed Deems May.
Hat to hat. That's the way they teach you. Hat to hat. Steve Atwater just doing what he's supposed to do, staying in the flat. Now, if ball's in the air, he closes, helmet to helmet. Picture perfect tackle.
Atwater, number 3 in tackles on the team, over 100. And this one, incomplete.
I'll tell you, Stan Humphries is trying so hard to make it easy on his receivers. That time, nice touch pass. Took a lot off that ball. Just tried to get it out there nice and easy to Shannon Mitchell, and they still can't come up with the catch. 3 of 8, 21 yards, 2 INTs. Neither of them his fault, I believe. Neither of them his fault.
No. And only his 11th and 12th interceptions of the season. 3rd and 7 now. The Chargers have to get something going. They'll go with 3 wide receivers. Four-man rush under pressure. Throws short, incomplete. Braxton, the closest man to it. And the Boo Birds are out in San Diego as Humphries took a shot.
Jumpy Gethers. That time, Mike, just comes. Look at it. He's got his feet in the blocks. We put one here, draw that line. The gun goes off. Bang! He's gone. There's Jumpy. Right out of the blocks. Look at that. You can't stop me. Nobody can stop me. And he winds up in Stan's lap.
He might be the strongest man in the NFL.
A lot of people consider him that way.
Been doing it a lot of years. 13 out of Wichita State. He's the one who patented the forklift move. Bennett to punt to Rod Smith. Got a beauty off last time. Gets another one off up near the rim of the stadium. Smith all the way back to the 20. And driven out of bounds short of the 30-yard line. 9-yard return after a 57-yard punt. ESPN's college football continues on Friday at 3 p.m. as Houston battles Donovan McNabb and Syracuse in the Liberty Bowl. Then at 9, it's the Copper Bowl as Utah takes on Wisconsin and freshman sensation running back Ron Dane. And the great Dane is just that. You'll enjoy watching him. 10-0 Denver.
Tiny little guy.
Oh, yeah. He's not even grown up yet.
280 as a freshman.
Worst starting position for the Broncos. Davis on the toss. McCaffrey, a nice job on the corner. Maybe too nice a job as there's a flag down. McCaffrey may have hooked his man.
Yeah, McCaffrey really just sort of gets in the way there. Doesn't try and really throw a block, but gets in the way. And I think winds up getting called.
Holding. Number 75. Offense. It's a 10-yard penalty. First down.
That's Brian Habib, the right tackle or right guard.
I want to show you how smart McCaffrey is. Here he is right here. He's going to come in. Rodney Harrison's closing. He's just going to stop and stand there and let Harrison run into him. Look at this. He doesn't clip him. He just stops. See that? Puts his hands back, says, hey, I didn't hit him in the back. Rodney has to turn around and try and chase Davis. Smart, good football player. Has run a 4.38. Everybody thinks that's not fast. Has run 4.38.
He looks slow. Even when he's running by guys, he looks slow.
That's the key, though.
Gordon, yeah. Darian Gordon is out. Of course, they've had problems at the corner. Dwayne Harper's been hurt all year. Right now, Willie Clark has to check in now on 1st and 20. Elway trying to scramble, lost the football. San Diego has it. Junior Seau recovered. Vernon Edwards forced the fumble. And Junior's going to take a victory lap and pass out a souvenir.
Junior just finds a way to be around the ball. They expect him to make big plays, and he does. Vernon Edwards is going to come in from the left side. He's got John wrapped up. John gets hit, protected himself. Ball's on the ground. Boy, that is the most thankless feeling in the world. You're helpless completely.
San Diego with its first break of the game. Starts from the 15. Freddie Bradley gets a couple and no more. Denver, number 4 overall in defense in the NFL. Maybe the best defensive unit they have ever had, even going back comparing with their Super Bowl teams.
I think when you talk to Greg Robinson, you talk to John Elway, who's sort of like the elder statesman who's been around for so many years there, he feels like this is the best team he's been on.
Playing tonight without defensive right tackle Michael Dean Perry, who has a slight ankle injury. None of the Broncos really hurt badly. If this were a playoff game, they would all be in there. Bradley on the toss. Nice cutback inside the 10, trying to get some help from Vaughn Parker. Alfred Williams helped out on the tackle. Inside the 20, the Chargers have really struggled this year. 16th in the NFL, scored only 48% of the time. Stan Humphries has really had his problems inside the 20.
You know, the 12 TDs is not a lot. 4 sacks is a problem. But the other thing is, if you can't run the football in the 20, you're going to have a tough time putting it in the end zone because defenses just don't respect you. They drop back.
3rd and 4. Humphries over the middle, and it's complete to Jones. Touchdown! Charlie Jones, the rookie from Fresno State. And Stan Humphries finally found somebody who could catch it.
Last time what they did, Mike, is they cleared 2 receivers out on the left side, let Charlie Jones run a little angle in, makes the catch, and Stan, the way he throws this, it's going to look like he's almost walking up and handing it to him.
Stan Humphries with a career-high 18th touchdown pass to get the Chargers back in the ballgame. Carney with the point after. So mistakes have led to all the points tonight. 2 San Diego interceptions, 1 Denver fumble.
This is just a case of receivers running off and 1 coming underneath. Watch this. You're going to see receiver running off, receiver running off. Charlie's going to come out here, run a little angle in. Stan's going to drop it to him right in the middle. Mays clears out. Martin clears out. Good little angle against the zone. Find the hole. Get in the end zone. This is from the end zone cam. Charlie Jones just squirting in the end zone.
Charlie Jones, the rookie, the all-time leading receiver at Fresno State. Bobby Ross says, I'm worried about the guy because he is really frail at 5'8", 175. I don't want to see him get killed.
You know, if you think about guys in the offseason, what they're going to have to do, Charlie Jones is going to have to spend some time in the weight room. Not that he needs to get more cut or anything. He just needs to physically get used to taking a pounding over 16 weeks of a season. He physically needs to be at practice and on the field to help Stan Humphries out.
But the kind of a receiver that you can grow with in your program. The wild card games on ABC are set for next Saturday afternoon. We will be in Buffalo as the Jaguars, who survived this afternoon, will take on the Bills, who eliminated Kansas City. It's a 12:30 start. And then the second game on ABC, 4 o'clock, the Vikings in Dallas to face the Cowboys. Hope you'll join us next Saturday for the first round of the playoffs. Von Hebron, the deep man, awaits Carney's kickoff. Hebron 2 yards in the end zone. He'll bring it out. Dangerous return man. Keeps his feet, dives across the 25 to the 26. Tackle made by David Hendricks down on special teams, but they'll lose some yardage on the hold.
You know, Mike, on every kick so far tonight, we have seen a flag. And I think, in part, that has to do with the field. If it's a slippery field, you take a position on a guy, and they get by you a little bit quicker, it's hard to catch up with him.
Patrick Sapp, the injured player.
Holding, number 38 during the return. Half the distance to the goal, first down.
David Hendricks is called for the hold. Excuse me, Reggie Rivers called for the hold.
Richard Smith, the special teams coach. Every unit has played well for the Broncos. Everywhere you look, they've got guys that are just performing.
And the other thing about Denver, they have been relatively injury-free this year. And you can go back in the history of the Super Bowl and all the way back to just when it was the NFL championship game. The teams that stay healthy, that are already good, are the ones that are going to win. Denver with its worst starting position inside its own 10, leading 10-7. Davis in the flat, and that was knocked down by Seau again.
Mike Jr. just basically takes the responsibility and the load of this football team on his shoulders. He wants to make big plays every time he's on the field. So far, he's done a number of them. Knocking balls down, recovering fumbles. This one here, he just keeps on coming. He just keeps on pursuing instead of stopping and winds up tipping it away.
The emotional leader of this defense going to get another Pro Bowl. Davis, inside handoff, nothing. Well, they're missing 3 of their top 5 defensive linemen. Of the five that are left to play tonight, 2 have already been hurt, and guys like Ray Lee Johnson are just making big plays.
Well, the thing is, you get guys that haven't played all year. First of all, they're not beat up. They're not tired, so you get really a fresh set of legs out there. Plus, the other thing is, as an offensive coach, you don't really know what they can do. So you're dealing with a little bit of an unknown out there. And for Dave Adolph, his team is just firing off the ball. They're going to try and get in the backfield.
3rd and 10. And Denver has been the best in this situation all year. One reason, Elway complete to Miller. He'll be short of the first down at the 15-yard line. So San Diego played the soft zone, and Elway threw underneath.
That is the maturity of John Elway. In years gone by, he'd wait and wait and wait, knowing it was 3rd and 10. He'd say, okay, I'm going to run around a little bit, let somebody get past the first down, and then I'm going to throw it. That time, just took what the defense gave him.
Ruin will kick to Charlie Jones, who waits back at his own 42. You have to hand it to San Diego. Out of the playoffs, maybe with a chance to finish under 500. They make the 2 big mistakes early. They could have mailed the rest of this in, but they haven't. Jones on a nice punt driven all the way back to the 32. Got the corner. And knocked out of bounds at the Denver 47-yard line. A 21-yard return to tackle by Rondell Jones. Into the corner, 10-7 Broncos.
Michael, how about an 80-yard run for a touchdown by a quarterback? It's Cordell Stewart, and look at the separation right here. He's gone. It's the longest run for a touchdown ever in the history of the NFL by a QB. Cordell Stewart, 80 yards, but the Steelers lost to the Panthers. Michael?
Boomer, I think he's one of the most exciting players I've ever seen. He's just a remarkable athlete.
I also think, Mike, as Pittsburgh moves on into the playoffs, as they get ready now, you're going to see a lot more plays from Cordell Stewart out of that Pittsburgh offense.
Field position has certainly changed in this game. The advantage has now gone to San Diego. Humphries wants to screen, throws too high. Romanowski with the interception. The 3rd pick of this game. Freddie Bradley, the intended receiver, the pass was too high.
That's just a case of a guy not being on the field enough to really be able to find the quarterback, find a way to catch the ball, and find his lineman. He's in the mix. He's hurrying to get out. Now he tips it. Now, granted, Stan threw it out a little bit, but well, I tell you, once a ball gets tipped in the middle of a field, it usually winds up in the wrong person's hands.
And it looked like Greg Engel, his center, may have either obstructed his vision or bumped him. And it's been a game of nothing but mistakes. And now Bill Musgrave is checked in at quarterback. As Elway's night may be done. 6 out of 11, 46 yards. It's a 10-7 Bronco lead. Back in a moment.
ESPN Sunday Night NFL is brought to you by Travelers Insurance. What we all want, Travelers Insurance provides. Something to hold on to. By Residence Inn by Marriott, the next best thing to home. And by Packard Bell, the world's #1 selling home computer.
The 3rd interception for San Diego. Very little holiday cheer so far here on the West Coast. Elway, 6 of 11, 46 yards, and he will be rested for about a week and a half now until they have to go into their first playoff game. And whistles will stop this play as Musgrave is the quarterback.
False start. Number 63, offense. Moving prior to the snap. It's a 5-yard penalty. First down.
After the punt, when San Diego's offense took the field, Junior Seau took the opportunity to run into the locker room after he sees the offense go back out. But on the first play, San Diego turned over the ball, and Junior had to come back out and find his helmet and get on the field.
Didn't think they'd be out there that short a time.
Musgrave out in the flat, complete to Carswell. And the big tight end playing in place of Shannon Sharp, 261-pounder, goes down the field. Willie Clark made the tackle. Musgrave, 20 out of 34 this year. No touchdowns and an interception. Mike Shanahan familiar with him from his days in San Francisco, and he started the game in Green Bay when Elway was out with the hamstring pull.
And he's a different type of quarterback than John is. He's not going to move around, and Mike will change the game plan when he's in there.
2nd and 4. Davis.
I want to show you something, Mike. I want to show you how intricate this game is. So far, for Denver on offense, you've had an offensive lineman jump offside. He has Infante. Okay, he jumps off. Now, watch this handoff from Musgrave to Terrell Davis. Watch the handoff. You think everything's simple? Look at this. It's not clean. Now, in 3 plays, you've had a lineman offside. You've got a running back not having a clean handoff. That's how comfortable everybody gets. That's the difference between the starter and the second guy.
3 wide receivers set on 3rd and 3. Terrell Davis has had no success tonight. 7 carries, only 3 yards. He gets a little shovel toss. Davis with his best run of the night to the 30. Rodney Harrison and Junior Seau combined on the tackle.
You can't arm tackle him. You just can't arm tackle Terrell Davis. He's going to be coming right into your living room down low here. Does a good job of fielding the ball. Now watch this. Arm tackle? No way. Running right through everybody's arms. Of course, you don't get those kind of runs unless you get receivers blocking. Anthony Miller doing a good job staying with it, staying in front of Sapp, finally throws on him and creates a little hole.
Play action by Musgrave. Throwing on the run, Miller had it knocked away. Mark Montroy got a hand on it and knocked it down. Shaw and Gordon, both starting corners, are out right now for San Diego. Clark and Montroy are on the field. Shaw took a shot to the head and is dazed. Gordon had a quad injury. He may or may not be back.
Willie Clark in his 3rd year. Montroy only in his 2nd, come out of the Canadian League.
2nd and 10. Davis on the delay. Breaks the tackle. Gets down to the 25-yard line. Terrell Davis, 21st running back taken in the draft. 21st. And another injury for San Diego. That's Junior. When we've all seen that reaction. He's just angry because he's hurt.
Exactly. And Bobby Ross is just, this game has sort of been the synopsis of a season for him. Junior coming in. That's Broderick Thompson, number 76. He really just sort of bends the knee back as he rolls over the top of him.
Junior in obvious discomfort. We'll be back to check on his condition. 12:32 to go in the half. Field, Junior Seau unable to put almost no weight at all on that right leg. Let's take a look again at what happened. You'll see his leg gets bent back.
Watch the left side of the screen right there. See right in there how his foot gets caught in Broderick Thompson's? Right in between his leg, and he just bends that ankle and knee back. Now, Broderick tries to lift his leg and get it out of the way so he's not putting any more pressure on it, but by then I think he'd already done the damage.
3rd and 5 for Denver. Musgrave, quarterback draw, nothing doing. Ray Lee Johnson with another play.
Good call, too. He comes from the outside and runs a stunt inside, and what he basically does is he fills the passing lane. That's the thing you have to be conscious of with shotgun, guys. He comes from outside in. He's filling that lane, the escape lane of the quarterback. Musgrave has nowhere to go.
So Elam will come on to try one from just outside 45 yards to try to extend the lead. Ruin is his holder. Hooked it. So San Diego holds and still trails by only 3 with 11:58 to go first half. Back in a moment. It's 11:58 to go in the half. They called out the cart for Junior Seau to take him to the locker room, and he told them what they could do with the cart. He's not going anywhere. Bradley, the running back, tries to cut it outside. Atwater up in a hurry to make the tackle. Let's go to Mark Malone. Mark.
Mike, Jumpy Gathers is in our Packard Bell spotlight. He's one of the critical free agent acquisitions that has helped turn this defense, this Bronco defense around this year. At 6'7", 300 pounds. Offensive linemen dig their heels in, try to shoot their hands, and this is what happens. A quick swimmer at 300 pounds and puts the lick on Humphries. And then on the other side, he works the combination. The swim, gets into the center, and then again hits Humphries. I'm telling you what, in 13 years in this league, this guy still has what it takes to get it done. Mike?
Mark, he just drives people back toward the quarterback.
Unbelievable strength. Now he's getting some spikes on to help him do it more.
2nd and 9.
Not a very quick pitch change, I got to be honest with you. Those tires in quick, guys.
Fletcher on the quick handoff, absolutely nothing. Let's go back to Mark.
Mike, here are the numbers on Gathers so far. In terms of rushing, well, the Chargers rushed up the middle twice for only 5 yards. No tackles for Gathers, but he does have 1 quarterback pressure and 2 hits. And he's one of the reasons guys like Braxton have a lot of interceptions and Alfred Williams are getting the sacks on the outside because he pushes the pocket so well.
You know, Mark, he has always done that throughout his NFL career. Other players say Jumpy Gathers really made a difference. He never seems to get any of the credit, but he helps everybody else get it. A little pushing and shoving after the last play. And a marker went down. And they're still talking it over.
Made his reputation by, you mentioned it earlier, Mike, that forklift. He got that trying to work on Nate Newton. You need 2 forklifts half the time for Nate.
Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness. Number 77, offense. That's a 15-yard penalty. After the play, the down count, 3rd down.
That's Eric Moten, the big left guard, charged with the personal foul. So it will cost him 15 yards after the play and make it 3rd and 24. Junior's dad on the sideline. Junior able to put a lot more weight on that knee than he was when he first came off.
That's Keoki Kamau, the trainer. I think they're going to convince him to have this thing looked at a little bit more than he thought he should have.
Humphries rolls left, throws, and intended for Martin, but out of bounds. Braxton was right there. Stan has not played well at home this year, which is really surprising. His numbers have been much better on the road.
You know, Mike, Tony Martin told me on Friday, he said, this game's personal, he said, because up in Denver when they played the last time, they were talking some trash to him. And he said, I think he's pressing a little bit, to be honest with you, in this game.
Well, they're still talking to him. That's Rod Smith, who was waiting for Bennett's punt. The Australian rules football player who just kicked the daylights out of it gets off another good one. Smith from the 29. And got out of bounds short of the 40-yard line. 10-yard return after a 50-yard punt. There's a marker down on this one, too. punt, there was a personal foul penalty called against Denver, so they're back to the 24. We told you earlier, we're taking a look at our spotlights, of course, all year long, but we have a couple of special ones this year involving playoff guys. Now let's go to Mark Malone and see what he has for us. Mark?
Well, Mike, of course, the Jacksonville rookie defensive end, Tony Brackens, is in our spotlight. Jacksonville in the playoffs, of course, earlier today. They'll play in Buffalo on Saturday. The playoffs, you need playmakers, and Brackens showed us in our game last week he can change the landscape of a football game almost instantly. A powerful 265 pounds, Brackens uses cat-like quickness to get to the quarterback. He's got a lot of ways he can disrupt an offense. You remember all the batted balls, and even when he drops into coverage, Brackens has shown great hands and an instinct for making the big plays. The wonderful players. And what's interesting about these numbers is that as a rookie, he's not even an every down player. But the way he's played on third down the playoff stretch here, Mike, I'm telling you, it wouldn't surprise me at all that this guy is going to see more playing time against Buffalo.
Mark, you could tell me those numbers was from our game last week, and I would believe you. He made every play, and believe it or not, Junior Seau is back on the field for San Diego. Musgrave dumps it short to Davis, and Junior is there to make a tackle. It is hard to believe a guy who could not put any weight on his right leg goes to the bench for maybe, 5 minutes, and now he's back in the game. That just shows you his attitude.
Well, they're special athletes. Reggie White is another. Remember when he pulled that hamstring that everybody said, oh, it's going to be a problem? Took one game off, came back out, has never had anything done to it. Junior is the same type of an athlete. They work so hard to get so strong that the other muscles compensate.
I wouldn't want to be the guy who tells Junior this game doesn't mean anything. Davis lost the ball. Still loose. San Diego saying they have it. And they do. Junior has it. And he sprints off the field. Unbelievable. Rodney Harrison made the hit that caused it. Look at this guy.
He's just trying to figure out. He's finding the littlest guys in the stands to give it to. For Denver, they still can't get the handoff right. Musgrave to Davis. This, again, you got to get your hand in and out. Bill Musgrave and Terrell Davis just haven't been able to figure out how to make a simple exchange yet.
Junior Seau is just a stunning player. Aaron Hayden checks in for the first time as the running back. He's been a major disappointment for the club this year. Humphries has this one batted and nearly intercepted by Lotus. The big guy had a shot at the easiest one he'll ever get.
Stan's not believing this. I mean, everything that he throws up winds up going to the wrong place. Ma Tanavasa, number 98, just swats it away. Look at this one. Holy mackerel, look. They're falling out of the skies, Mike. I can't believe it. Lotus just run around going, they're coming from the ceiling.
Stan Humphries has to wonder what is happening. 4 out of 13, 3 picks already. And this guy's a terrific quarterback, folks. Short set, double clutches. Has it complete to Martin, but only for a couple of yards. Lionel Washington, who already has an interception, is in on the stop.
Mike, quite often we talk about rhythms. Kickers get in rhythms. Offenses get in rhythms. Neither one of these offenses are in a rhythm tonight. They're both being dictated to by the play on the other side of the ball, the defenses.
And you wouldn't expect it from San Diego's defense right now. They've had a tough time all year. Now they're working on Junior's hand. Fletcher is the single setback on 3rd and 6. Humphries fumbles the snap from center. It'll be 4th down. Covered by Romanowski and Tanavasa.
I'll tell you, when I was on the field during warm-ups and I was talking to Stan, he said it's going to be real interesting tonight trying to hang on to the football because of the slickness on the ground as well as the mist in the air. It just comes out. Again, remember, Greg Ingles is a new center for him. Courtney Hall, gone for the year.
Carney comes in to try a field goal. It will be a 50-yarder. Carney's long this year, 53. And now we've got a timeout called by Sean Salisbury, his holder, with 8:36 to go in the half.
Second short timeout. 30-second timeout.
One thing Bobby Ross said about Engel was that, of course, we lost Courtney Hall, arguably their best lineman. But Engel proved he can play in this league. Maybe not as to supplant Courtney Hall, who's a terrific player, but he can play in this league. There's Courtney.
Courtney's, he's tried to help out as much as he can, but, I mean, they really miss him on the field. They miss the guy in the middle. Everybody talks about different positions of leadership. The center is one that is a position not only of leadership, but communication to the other offensive linemen. I think that's what you miss when you're a young guy and haven't played there a lot.
And they lost Harry Swain, who was their most experienced tackle, and Alfred Papunu, who was arguably their best blocker from the tight end. From 50. And we are tied at 10. Carney crushes one, and it's a 10-10 tie in San Diego. I think Junior Seau has lifted this team on his back with his play tonight.
Well, and it's sort of been the story of a season for him, too. I mean, he has carried this football team all year, play after play.
And they've really got that left hand padded up. Hurt his right knee earlier. The NFL's best pregame show, NFL Countdown, next Saturday at 11:30 a.m. and Sunday at noon Eastern. Chris Berman and the gang preview all the wild card action. Then at 7:30 p.m. it's prime time, where you'll see all the highlights from the weekend's wild card games. We are in San Diego, where the crowd is really pumped. It's a sellout, but it looks like there's 10,000, 15,000 no-shows on a rainy night.
I'll tell you, Mike, if you're the San Diego Chargers and you're in a 10-10 game with the way you've played the first quarter and a half, you've got to consider yourself darn lucky. Auditions for the pom-pom unit. I don't think he's going to make it.
They're not going well. And, of course, our opportunity to wish all of you a Merry Christmas and a Happy Holiday. Santa's arrived early in San Diego. Bobby Ross wished he'd have showed up about 3 weeks ago. Vaughn Hebron, the deep man, number 4 in the AFC in kickoff return. Nice cut across the 20, 30. Hebron still on his feet to the 49-yard line. Great return until Eric Castle makes the tackle. A 43-yard run back.
Mike, you can block great returns, but then also you can have guys do it on their own. This is one where Hebron does it on his own. Watch it. There's going to be 3 Chargers that have a shot at him. Right there. 3 of them have him surrounded. Now he just keeps on making people miss and weaving his way through traffic. The Chargers still can't tackle him.
Missed all of 95 with the knee injuries. Out of Virginia Tech, a very explosive runner. And he will stay on the field as the deep man in the backfield. Musgrave. And Seau almost had the interception. Oh, man.
Unbelievable. It's a one-man show. He's on there. I swear there's 5 of them playing out there.
And gets up limping.
Unbelievable. Junior just reading his eyes. Now he goes up to make the play. You know, you'd almost want to say if he had a good knee, he would have had it. Almost makes the interception.
Just remarkable. Playing for nothing but pride. Musgrave, very short and incomplete. Seau may have gotten a fingertip on it as it was intended for Chamberlain. If Junior did touch it, that would be his 3rd deflected pass of the night. Broncos, 29 games since Denver scored a touchdown without Elway as quarterback. Now that tells you something. John has to be on the field for this team to win.
Just to tell you when that was, Mike, to put it in perspective, it was game 2 of last year against Dallas.
4 wide receiver set on 3rd and 10 for Musgrave. Plenty of time. Throws to Craver. And Aaron Craver, with second effort and hard running, got the first down. Craver, with his 34th catch of the season, never started until last year with the Broncos. This is his 6th year in the NFL. Always been a terrific receiver.
Free agent out of Miami. I think he gives you a good changeup. If you want to sit Terrell down a little bit, he gives you that power back. He's a good size. He's 220 pounds. So he's a guy who can pound it in there for you if you want to keep that style of offense.
7:33 and counting. Terrell Davis. Apparently, his night has ended as well as Elway. Musgrave stumbled a little bit, and there is Ray Johnson again. He is loving the opportunity to be in there.
Mike, he has given Broderick Thompson, everything that he can handle.
And then some.
Watch the left hand. The big left hand swat and right around the corner. Broderick Thompson just can't quite get his feet in front of him.
He's in there to provide the pass rush, but we have seen him tonight. He has played the run very, very well.
Quick guy, 265, not a big power end.
Craver or Hebron on the draw. Back to the 45-yard line. If Terrell Davis does not play the rest of this game, he will be 160 yards ahead of Barry Sanders, who will finish this season tomorrow night on Monday Night Football. And no, it's not real comfy to have only 160 on Barry Sanders. He said he has called the Niners defensive players, says, boys, you know what you got to do. And he says, I'll be watching.
Man, when you got Barry, nothing. 200 wouldn't be safe with Barry.
We've seen him get 160 and a half. 3rd and long for Musgrave. Dumps it short to Miller. Just back to the original line of scrimmage inside the 40-yard line. Lou Bush led the defensive charge.
That's a good job by Dave Adolph. Just bringing Junior on the rush, who's a one-man gang as it is, and dropping everybody back in his zone. There he goes right around Zimmerman. I mean, the two outside rushers here are playing havoc with these tackles, Zimmerman and Thompson, for the Broncos.
Which can make Mike Shanahan feel very comfortable.
You know, I think they get used to blocking for John, though, and all of a sudden you get a quarterback change. It does make a difference.
Ruined the punt to Jones, trying to hang it up and kill it inside the 10. Excellent coverage, and the Broncos do their job on special teams, stopping the ball at the 7. Darius Johnson got down there in order to make the easy catch. Coming up Saturday on ABC Sports, the wild card games, the Jaguars against the Bills at 12:30 from Rich Stadium in Buffalo. Then at 4 o'clock, the Vikings and the Cowboys from Dallas.
A little chilly up there.
It may be.
You know, the Bills showed something today. They showed a lot of character. Their key guys, Jim Kelly, Bruce Smith, they stepped up today and made play after play against Kansas City.
And we talked about Junior Seau being a warrior tonight. Bruce Smith has been a warrior all year long. He's been terrific. Aaron Hayden, who really hasn't shown this team a burst, gets a chance to carry the ball.
Ball carrier, number 24, Aaron Hayden.
They were really hoping the way he played in the second half of last year. Remember, he was still recovering from a leg injury that he had suffered in Tennessee.
And he started all through preseason for them. Then all of a sudden they get into the first game and bang, they didn't really like what they saw. They went with Leonard Russell. And like you said, Mike, he gave them as much as he could, but with no real quickness or burst.
Maybe an entirely new backfield cast next year. Here's Lodish jumping and pointing to Brian Roach.
False start. Number 87, offense, moving prior to the snap. Half the distance to the goal, 2nd down.
And Lodish was correct.
When nobody's pointing back at the defense, it's tough. That's a tough part. When they're pointing at one of your guys and none of your guys are pointing at theirs, you know you pretty much are going to lose the 5.
Terrell Fletcher comes in on 2nd and 13. There is Atwater, the wicked hitter out of the secondary. Play action by Humphries, in trouble. Throws it away. Is there a flag? Boy, and the Denver sideline wanted that safety, thinking that should be intentional grounding, as Alfred Williams putting the pressure on.
Alfred Williams on Harry Swain coming from the outside. Swain fires out and just really has no shot at him. Fletcher tries to help out. You got two guys who barely laid a hand on him. I got to be honest with you, if it was two-hand touch, Alfred Williams wouldn't have been down here. Stan does a good job of reacting and just moving.
And I think Stan got away with one, throwing that ball away. 3rd and 13. Throws short, Fletcher can't hold it. Lionel Washington was right there anyway. But a frustrating night so far for Humphreys.
I mean, no matter where he throws the football, the guys can't catch it. If it's a little in front, it goes through their hands. If it's a little behind, it winds up hitting them in the hip. It's just really the story of the season for the Chargers on offense. Just a hit-and-miss offense.
Darren Bennett to punt to Smith. Look at the average, 55 on 3 tonight. They could use a big one here. High but short. Fair catch made at the San Diego 47-yard line. So Denver with excellent field position to start with after a 42-yard punt. Coming up at halftime, Chris Berman with the fastest 3 minutes in television. Take a look at the Chiefs and the Bills game, a playoff elimination game, as it were, and a look at the entire playoff picture as we have now determined the entire field and the schedule for the playoffs, which begin next week on ABC with a doubleheader. Joe, you've been in that Stan Humphreys position where things just don't go well.
I've been at the end of a season when you're not going to go on too, Mike. I mean, you're really trying to finish on a positive note. And so far for the Chargers offensively, very few things have been positive, if anything.
Hebron and Craver, the running backs behind Musgrave. Musgrave dumps it off. Hebron inside the San Diego 40 to the 39-yard line.
Number 22, Juan Hebron.
Rodney Harrison makes the tackle.
Mike, this is an offense that really gives the quarterback a chance with a lot of places to go. Watch this. As we roll this, you're going to see where he has a chance to go with the football. Right in this area, you're going to see 3 receivers of his able to stop. Right there. They're the guys. You got one going here, one's going to come through here, and there's another one. He has an opportunity to just dump the ball off anywhere he wants. That's part of this offense. Doesn't allow the quarterback to hold the ball a long time.
2nd and 1. Hebron didn't get it. Maybe lost a half yard. Marco Coleman, who's back in there after an injury, led the charge along with Sayal and Harrison. Boy, there's a tough place for Marco Coleman to be. He's only 265 pounds. They gave him a tackle. That's because of all the injury depletions on that defensive line. We saw Patrick Sapp, a linebacker, defensive end earlier. Now 3rd and a yard. Musgrave wants to throw for it in the flat to Craver, and he'll be very close to a 1st down. Bush on the coverage.
He's doing a good job of just moving the chains. You know, Musgrave not trying to do anything. Hasn't really thrown the ball downfield yet. Really nothing over 10 yards. Gary Kubiak, the offensive coordinator and quarterback coach.
He was one of the best backup quarterbacks that ever played in the National Football League.
How's that? You wind up being the coach of a guy who was ahead of you. There's the guy that was ahead of him.
They have a good relationship, too.
All 3 of them do. Mike Shanahan, Gary Kubiak, John Elway. They all respect one another's position. I think that's very important. John knows that Gary's doing his job, and John has his to do on the field, and Mike has his to do as the head coach.
Here's the measurement for the 1st down. And they just got it.
Of course, Mike Shanahan has taken the West Coast offense, per se, that he had in San Francisco, and taken it really to another level. You don't see the shotgun in the conventional West Coast offense. But with John's athletic ability, he's made it a part of it. Although last year, when he put it in, Mike, he really made John work from under the center. Now he's gradually adapted to the personnel that he has and has opened it up a bit.
Mike Shanahan has an exceptional football mind. 1st and 10, approaching 2.5 minutes to go first half. Musgrave wants to throw. Dumps it over the middle again. And nailed by Gouveia is Hebron.
I think sooner or later, Musgrave's going to have to go down the field because the linebackers now are starting to crowd the running backs in the check down. Pretty soon he's going to have to take it up 12, 15 yards to either a tight end or one of the wide receivers.
He has thrown 3/4 of his passes right in the middle of the field under the linebacker drops. We've reached the 2-minute warning. 10-10, Broncos and the Chargers from San Diego. Tonight's topic, most quarterback wins in NFL history. Miami's Dan Marino has compiled 123 wins, 3rd most. Right. Hall of Famer Fran Tarkenton won 125. That's second only to Denver's John Elway, who has quarterbacked the Broncos to 126 wins, the most in NFL history. None have won an NFL championship. Can this be the year for John Elway? A lot of people have them favored at least to make the Super Bowl, if not win it. Musgrave, good protection over the middle. Bobble and intercepted. Picked off by Willie Clark at the 20.
Vaughn Hebron never really gets a clean handle on this one. Like I said, Mike, you bobble this thing in the middle of the football field, it's going to wind up in the wrong person's hands 9 out of 10 times. We've seen it a couple times tonight. This is an angle out of the backfield by the running back. Good coverage, but he tips it up. There's Willie Clark. Good protection. Well-thrown ball.
Clark with his 2nd interception. 3rd-year man out of Notre Dame. He was a sprinter in college on the track relay team. Humphries, nowhere to go. Intended for Coleman, but he's covered well by Hilliard, who's in there for the injured Ray Crockett for this game. Crockett sprained the knee a week ago. There's Willie Clark. Look at this. 6 turnovers in the first half. And all the points have come from them. Vaughn Hebron on the sideline after not being able to come up with that ball. The Chargers with only 1 timeout left, 1:47 to go in the half. Humphries under pressure. And sacked back at the 12. Nice effort by Ma'a Tanuvasa.
Stan Humphries had no way to step up, Mike. Look at Jumpy. Well, we'll put Jumpy back in the block. He's just going to go right into the pocket. Now, he's a yard off the ball, so he's got a running start. Here comes the forklift. He just takes Moten and dumps him. And what he does when that happens is he opens up the middle of that pocket for somebody to come in and flush Stan. Gosh, he's strong.
The sack goes to Tanuvasa, his first. 3 wide receivers on 3rd and 17. Draw play, Fletcher, a lot of room. You see that a lot when the defense is playing man-to-man. The backs have their back to the play, following the receivers, and there's a big gaping area in the middle.
Well, everybody, you know you need 17 yards, and the linebackers have a long way to go to get there. And what they're really doing is running to a spot to pick up a receiver. You know it's 17 yards. You got to figure there's no way a running play is going to get that for you. So you play percentages.
ABC's Monday Night Football comes your way tomorrow night, 9 Eastern. Steve Young and the San Francisco 49ers taking on the Detroit Lions. And you get to see Barry Sanders try to get that NFL rushing title away from Terrell Davis. It's been a good first half for the fans. A lot of action, 6 turnovers, 20 points, all coming off of the turnovers.
Of course, you talk about giveaway takeaways, Mike. The Broncos are 6-2 when they lose the takeaway-giveaway ratio. So, I mean, if they don't make a mistake, they just don't lose.
Rod Smith waits back at the 20 for Bennett. When Bennett first auditioned for the Chargers, first time he ever took a snap, he'd never seen football. The snap hit him right in the face. Went right through his hands. He didn't realize it came that fast. He's caught on now. sky high. Smith, fair catch, makes it outside the 30. Let's go to Mark Malone.
Mike, tonight's spotlights were supposed to have a playoff twist. Chargers aren't going to the playoffs, but Junior Seau's pure courage and determination cannot go ignored. In the first play after the leg injury, look at this, playing, and then comes off and makes the tackle in coverage on Davis. And then again, playing off the block, trying to protect the leg, makes the big fumble recovery. And then again, dragging the leg around in coverage, makes the big play, almost an interception there. Here are the numbers so far. 5 tackles, 4 batted balls, 2 fumble recoveries, 1 quarterback hit. All this guy hasn't done is win a Super Bowl. So if anybody questions what this game means to him, I got another thing coming, Mike.
Mark, absolutely. And if you joined us late, he limped off the field. In fact, he had to be helped. He couldn't put any weight on that leg. Musgrave throws to Smith. He's got it at the 45. Rod Smith out of Mississippi Southern.
Musgrave's pass complete to number 8, Rod Smith.
And a face mask on top of it.
Penalty flag on the field.
Oh, no, back the other way, says Tom White. Had the right team, the wrong direction.
Mike, you're not going to believe this. So far in the first half, there have been 19 drives. 19 drives in this first half. I mean, you don't get sometimes but 4 or 5 in an entire half. 19.
Wow. Personal foul. Face mask. Number 76. Offense. 15 yards. First down.
That's Broderick Thompson. Picked him up from Philadelphia, and Ray Lee Johnson has been having a great time against him.
He's got great quickness. You know, Mike, he isn't that big. Like I said, he's 265, and he's just using his speed to come around the outside. And again, when you're used to blocking for John Elway, you take a certain way, and you get an idea where John's going to be. Now with Bill Musgrave back there, he's not quite as mobile, does things a little bit different. Everybody's affected on offense.
It's 1st and 25. There is Alex Gibbs, a brilliant coach. He's the assistant head coach and the offensive line coach. Wherever he has gone in the NFL, the numbers of the offensive line, the protection, the running game have increased dramatically. This guy is instant success up front. Now with 51 seconds to go, will Denver try to protect the ball or go for it? A little toss, there's a flag down. There was some early movement. Hebron taken down at the 16-yard line by Rodney Harrison. And the call will go against San Diego for an offside.
Mike, what you saw in that play with Rodney Harrison is a little bit what you see out of the safeties of the Broncos. He wants to fire up. As soon as it shows run, he's coming hard. He's going to get better and better.
Offsides, number 55, defense. It's a 5-yard penalty, first down.
As Rodney Harrison continues to play, he uses that aggressiveness. He's going to be a free agent, 200-pounder.
He got a signing bonus of $22,500. He spent it all on his mom. A big screen TV, a VCR, a refrigerator, a washer and dryer, and central air conditioning. You gotta love it. Draw play, Hebron. Slipped one tackle, but Junior covered him up after Lou Bush slowed enough.
In on the stop, number 58, Lou Bush.
In the second half, we'll be talking a lot of the league-wide issues that we're facing. Some of the championship performances this year, coaching changes, of course, huge around the NFL. MVP candidates.
One of them right there.
John Elway, certainly one of them.
Yeah, they'll be looking for a new coach in St. Louis. Rich Brooks was fired.
I thought that was a shame. I don't think you can give a guy 2 years. He laid a really good foundation for that team.
Yeah, and he really went with a lot of young guys. Half his offense was rookies. It's tough to win at this level that way.
That's the end of the first half. The score, the Broncos 10 and the Chargers 10. Now let's join Chris Berman for the accurate halftime report.
All right, Michael, thank you very much. So a tie game at the Murph, the penultimate regular season game in the NFL. Of course, the playoffs start next week, but for all intents and purposes, the playoffs started today because two perennial playoff teams in the AFC, the Chiefs and Bills, when they met at Rich Stadium, knew that probably the loser would be out. As we've said time and time again, as valiant as the Chiefs are, nobody circles the wagons better than the Buffalo Bills. And that's what they did today. Although Marty Schottenheimer's club got turnovers early, kicked field goals instead of touchdowns. It was 9-6 Chiefs in the fourth until Jim Kelly to Thurman Thomas. The screen pass into Kansas City territory. Next play, in the wind. Kelly to Andre Reed, down to the 26. Next play, Kelly to the tight end Lonnie Johnson. 23 yards down to the 4, 2nd and goal. Kelly to another tight end, Tony Klein. Patsy Klein would sing crazy. The Bills don't stop. Kelly the slant to Quinn Early. 2 late touchdowns in the fourth quarter. The Bills are moving on to the playoffs. Bruce Smith and company doing the job on defense, holding Kansas City out of the end zone. Buffalo wins 20-9. We'll go over all the playoff scenarios in a moment, but they will host the Jaguars next week. Afterwards, the Kansas City Chiefs said, we had a shot, we didn't deliver.
We had an opportunity today coming in here to get a victory, and we didn't do it, and I'm disappointed as hell, and so is every individual in that locker room.
Man, you know, y'all always ask that same question, do losses hurt? Whereas hell, all of them hurt. I don't give a shit which ones you have, all of them hurt.
So Kansas City out of the playoffs for the first time since 1989. Unless the Jaguars lost to the lowly Atlanta Falcons. It was all Jacksonville early. Mark Brunell, 11-yard touchdown. 7-0 Jacksonville. They're ready to party in northern Florida. The Jags lead 19-10 in the fourth, but Ironhead Hayward makes it a 2-point game with a 4-yard run for June Jones. Under 2 minutes to go, Bobby Hebert to Tyrone Brown and his band of renown inside the 30-yard line. That sets up one of the greatest kickers ever, Morton Anderson, 30 yards. Are you kidding me? His first miss from 30 or less yards in this decade. First time he's missed one that short since 1989. You can see Tom Coughlin first. Oh, no, it wasn't blocked. Then, oh, but it's also no good. The Jaguars, in their second year of existence, joined the Panthers in their second year of existence in the playoffs. Congratulations, the Jags win 19-17.
I feel great. You know, we were on the sideline. Everybody was nervous. You know, they have Morton Anderson, one of the greatest kickers to ever play this game. You know, I mean, it was a fortunate accident for us. You know, they didn't miss the kick. You know, everybody's happy. You know, we're elated. We're just ready to go in and celebrate.
It's like how often does Michael Jordan miss a free throw, or how often does it doesn't happen very often. But this is magnified because it was a game winner. It was magnified because it got the Jaguars into the playoffs, and so. I expect a lot of Christmas cards from people in Jacksonville from now on.
What an unlikely scenario. A guy going to the Hall of Fame, probably Morton Anderson, but the Jaguars now going to the playoffs. A team that stumbled again has decided to fire their head coach, Rich Brooks, head coach for 2 years of the St. Louis Rams after going 7-9 and 6-10, was cut loose despite the fact that he has a lot of rookies at the skill positions and the team was coming on. In my opinion, should have gotten another year. That was not the way the Rams decided to go. He had 2 years left on his 4-year contract.
Coach at Long Valley High School in California was honored as the NFL's High School Coach of the Year. Norford was nominated by his former student and player, Charger running back Leonard Russell. The NFL High School Coach of the Year award was initiated last season by Commissioner Paul Tagliabue to honor coaches who had significant impact on NFL players. ESPN would like to congratulate Don Norford, the NFL's High School Coach of the Year. Quite an honor for that gentleman. San Diego's John Carney to kick it off to start the second half. Vaughn Hebron, the deep man, has already had a couple of good returns. Hebron from the 5. Breaks the tackle. Flag is down. So is Hebron at the 30. Have we had a kick tonight that didn't have a flag?
I was just going to say, our record is still intact, Mike.
The old illegal block in the back. The thing that jumps out at you at the first half stats, look at the rushing yards. Denver, number 1 in the NFL, averaging 153 yards a game. They have 27. San Diego is hardly burning it up, but they only have 28 yards passing, too, and 68 total. The big number for both teams, 3 turnovers, and all the points have come off of those combined 6 mistakes.
And the time of possession is somewhat typical also. I mean, Denver has managed to keep the ball 33 minutes in most games they play, only letting the opponent have it about 26 and a half. So they're keeping the ball 6-7 minutes longer than everybody anyway.
After the penalty, they start at their own 13. Hebron in motion. Musgrave to Craver. And Montroy buries Craver after a gain of about a yard, or Hebron after a gain of about a yard.
And Mike, this is good work for Bill Musgrave because you don't know what's going to happen down the road into the playoffs. If John gets nicked and you need somebody to go in, it's hard to get your backups work during the regular season. So these last 3 weeks have been important for the Denver Broncos to get their guys some work.
Musgrave on 2nd and 9. This time Craver wrapped up by Seau at the 15, gain of another yard. Perella was also there, dropping back from his defensive line spot.
Junior Seau is everywhere. This time he drops back into coverage, still focusing on Musgrave, and just closes. Perella comes in and finishes him off. He's unbelievable. I mean, it's like watching Braxton last week. You know, you watch one player just dominate one side of the football. That's what Junior's done.
Tom White, the referee, comes to the sideline.
He's looking for a phone, I think. Give me a phone. I got to make a call.
Oh, he has a choice.
Okay.
Well, there's a couple of shopping days left till Christmas. Maybe he's thinking of mail order right now.
Maybe talking to the clock operator, too, a little bit. Maybe he's looking at the clock. Either that or watching the scoreboard. That's Keoki Kamal. He's gonna talk to Tom. We get a couple more people there, and you got a regular switchboard.
So they have been having trouble with the 25-second play clock, and they may end up keeping that on the field if they can't get it to function.
Now, that was a veteran trainer, Keoki Kamal. He knew that we had Tom on camera. So he just walked over and picked up a phone. He called no one. He was talking to no one. He just did it. Camera time.
Camera time's important.
There's Keoki. I was with him when we were at the Redskins. What a terrific trainer he is, too. Put me together more times than once, believe me.
Let's check in with Mark Malone. Mark?
Mike, little injury update here for you. Junior Seau supposedly has sprained a MCL slightly. They taped him at halftime. It's sore. The initial pain scared him. They don't think the joint is compromised. He'll play. Terrence Shaw is out with a concussion, and Darian Gordon got a thigh bruise. He's also out for the second half. Mike?
It's really been a remarkable performance, Mark, by the San Diego defense with all the injuries that they had coming into this game and have suffered since. I think Junior may be bionic anyway.
25 seconds off. Right. The problem appears to be resolved, so we'll play with it.
It had to do with the 25-second clock that sometimes goes to 40, and it appears that it's been resolved. Sure. You believe that?
Didn't sound very convincing, did he?
No.
3rd and 8. And Musgrave just throws this one away.
Well, you can see the difference in Elway and Musgrave. If that was Elway and that little clock in his head went off, John would have been moving in a lot bigger area than Bill Musgrave did that time. Musgrave much more disciplined to stay in the pocket, read his keys, and then just throw the ball away.
That's Charlie Jones waiting for the punt, standing at his own 43. Ruin, who has fallen to 12th in the AFC this year with only a 41.8 average. Kick if Jones can get to it, and he can. Ruin gets the bounce, and it's out of bounds inside the San Diego 40. With the roll, a 45-yard punt and no return. Back in a moment.
ESPN Sunday Night NFL is brought to you by Honda. Vehicles designed to help simplify your life. By Walmart. Always low prices, always Walmart. And by Gateway 2000. Personalized computers shipped factory direct.
San Diego and Denver knotted at 10 with 13:36 to go third quarter. So far, the Chargers have had 10 drives. They've run 29 plays. They are not even averaging 3 plays and out with all their mistakes. Humphreys with a short set. and gets it down to Brian Roach. This game, of course, means absolutely nothing for the Denver Broncos. They clinched the playoffs after Week 13. They have home field advantage throughout the playoffs. And since 1975, the team that has enjoyed that advantage has gone to the Super Bowl in both conferences about 2 out of every 3 times.
There is a distinct advantage playing at home, Mike. First of all, a lot of guys talk about you get to sleep in your own bed. You know, there's the comfort of home. There's the mental peace that goes with it, as well as being able to play in front of your home fans.
2nd and 5. This is Freddie Bradley. Takes a hard hit after picking up a couple of yards. They, of course, been to 4 Super Bowls. They have lost all. But for John Elway, certainly, this may be the best talent he's ever been surrounded
Well,
by.
it's the best team. He said himself, it's the best team that he's played on because the offensive personnel and firepower is up to what the defense was. When he used to play on the other teams, the defense was there. The offense sort of hung around. You try and win it at the end, and he would run around and make a play. This one is so complete. And you look at the records that it's put out, I think it has a chance to go all the way to the Super Bowl.
Stan Humphries wants a timeout, and if you have to play the Broncos at Mile High, good luck. 3rd and 2 for San Diego when we come back. Field advantage throughout the playoffs. Lambeau Field and Mile High. Can there be 2 tougher places to play?
No, I don't think so, Mike. I think, and it's important that coaches preach we have to get home field. I think in Green Bay's case, for example, teams like Dallas and San Francisco, if they get that far, I don't think it's as intimidating to them as maybe some others. Now, you go to Mile High, there's always this thing in the back of your mind about the thinness of the air, and you wonder if you can physically hold up from a stamina standpoint.
3rd and 2. Denver showing blitz. They back out of it. Humphries throws wide open. Martin to the 31-yard line. Randy Hilliard knocked him out of bounds.
San Diego decides they're going to put a lot of receivers in one spot and then just run them in different places. Charlie Jones breaks out. Tony Martin goes up the field a little bit. It's really considered what we call a bunch package, Mike, when you get 3 receivers in a little 5-yard area and just send everybody in different directions.
Longest play of the game, that was a 20-yard gain. Play action by Humphries. Has Roach wide open, instead goes downfield to Martin, and Martin is walloped by Atwater, but he held on.
What you saw on that play was trademark Stan Humphries. Roach is open underneath. But what Stan wants to do is he wants to go down the field. He loves to press the ball down the field. There's Roach. He's wide open underneath, but Stan is focusing down the field to Tony Martin, and he just knows he can get the ball to him.
Stan finally looks like he has a little rhythm because his receivers are catching the ball. Two tight ends, 2 wideouts. Bradley. That is a good run defense.
Number 97, Mike Otis, along with number 57.
You know, Mike, the thing about Denver and home field, look at that. They've won all 8 at home.
30 points a game, over 400 yards in total offense, and 165 on the ground. You'll kill people doing it.
And to put it in perspective, they've only averaged 19 on the road. That's how important home field has been for the Broncos, or will be for them.
2nd and 9. Humphries again with that little naked boot. Throws complete down to the 5. Braxton made the hit on Deems May, but he held on. And all at once, the San Diego receivers have glue on their fingers.
We talk about John Elway being able to wind up and fire a ball. Stan Humphries can stand in there and let this thing fly with him. He comes out to the left, sets, again, turns the hips and shoulders, and this is a gun. I mean, that thing is humming. And what I really like about the way Stan throws the ball is he keeps it low. He'll always protect his receivers and keep the ball down low. So you know that the ground is close by and you have a chance to cradle and protect yourself instead of hanging out a guy up the middle with a real high pass and exposing his ribs.
Receivers call that getting blown up, and he doesn't do it. 1st and goal for San Diego. Humphries again, play action. Floats it in the end zone, touchdown, Harry Swain! No! The crowd is celebrating, but one official signaled he was out of bounds.
Well, they can't go back and reload the cannon. They fired it.
Ruling is incomplete pass. The second foot came down on the sideline. Second down.
Harry's got to work on his tap-tap on the sideline now. You're going to look to the right part of the screen, the lower right part. That's number 72 working his way to the corner. They're saying his second foot came down. 1, 2. No, absolutely not. The toe hits before the heel. Watch it. Well, there's one. See the toe hit? The toe hits before the heel inbounds. That's a bad call. Watch the toe. See the toe hit?
You're right.
Right there. Right there. Now, if this heel comes down, he's out of bounds, I agree, but that toe is inbound.
You're absolutely right. Remember what Bobby Ross said 2 days ago? He can't remember when a call or a break has gone their way all year. There's another one. That was a touchdown. Quarter, we're tied. Let's go back to the touchdown that was overruled.
Mike, I really think he got his toe in. Watch, there's the left 1 foot down, okay? Now here comes the other one, and see the referee? He's looking right at it.
They'll go on the ground with Bradley, tries to turn the corner and can't, picked up a couple.
Ball carrier, Huntley.
Well, the Chargers have not benefited from many breaks this year.
I think they really haven't, Mike, but now on this third down play, I think you come out, you spread the field, and you let Stan try and throw it in. Third down and 4. Spread them out.
Terrell Fletcher is in. Martin and Coleman, the wide receivers. Fletcher in the slot. Humphreys throwing. Fletcher couldn't hold it. He got away from Atwater and couldn't make the catch.
Well, Stan Humphreys just can't buy a break. You got to make these catches. You have to make these kind of catches. That's all there is to it. This isn't a perfect world. You got to have guys make plays. Does a good job of getting it off before Mobley can get to him. Now, you turn, that's not a hard catch. That's not a hard catch at all. He just totally misjudged it.
Remember, 2 of Humphrey's interceptions were faults of the receivers. The third was a screen pass that looked like the intended receiver bumped into a lineman. So Carney comes on to get the field goal. The Chargers do take the lead, but it's only 13-10 instead of 17. Back in a moment. The third quarter. How's this for a question? Who was the NFL's MVP? Well, how about the Pack's Brett Favre? He led the NFL in touchdown passes with 39. Or Denver's John Elway. He quarterbacked the Broncos to an NFL best 13-2 record. Might be 14-2 tonight. Or his teammate, Terrell Davis, who will probably win the league's rushing crown. And then there will be some votes for Pittsburgh's Jerome Bettis. His 10 100-yard games played a major role in the Steelers winning the division title.
I think Brett Favre wins back-to-backs.
I agree with you.
I just think his performance, not that John's and Terrell's and Jerome's hasn't been sensational, but Brett has elevated that football team just to another level. You know, and it's really, John is sort of sharing it now with Terrell.
He'll get some split votes out of that.
And Brett still, you know, it's still on his shoulders. They go as far as he goes. He has a bad game. I don't think they can overcome it.
Because they don't have the running game. They don't have the luxury of a Terrell Davis.
And that's the thing that Mike Shanahan was pointing out to us last night that makes this football team so special, is if John struggles or you get some bad weather, you have the running game to rely on to keep you in the game, as well as having a great run defense.
We're speaking of Shanahan, he'll get some Coach of the Year votes, and obviously has earned them. Hebron from the goal line. A nice job following his blockers up to the 27-yard line. Take a look at some of the numbers that the MVP candidates have racked up. Favre, 39 touchdown passes. Elway with a great year with 26. Davis, unless Barry Sanders can have a huge game tomorrow night, will win the NFL rushing title. And Jerome Bettis was the perfect fit for Pittsburgh's offense. Absolutely perfect.
He gave them everything they need. I still think when you get to the tournament time, which is coming up next week, the quarterbacks will make a difference.
Musgrave starts at his own 27-yard line. Dumps it off to Craver. Sayal and Govea get over there, but he'll pick up 9, maybe 10 yards.
Pass complete to number 29, Aaron Craver.
And Junior getting up a little slowly with some help from Kevin Ross.
Get on the stop.
Junior basically takes the philosophy, just get me on my feet. I'll do the rest once I get on my feet.
He doesn't leave anything in the bag. It's all going to be out on the field when he's done.
That is one great football player.
Not too many like him come along in a lifetime. Musgrave changing the play. Hebron. He'll have the first down at his own 39 near the 40. Kevin Ross made the tackle. Wild Card Saturday coming up. The Jaguars against the Bills. That's a 12:30 start from Rich Stadium in Buffalo. We'll be there to bring you that game. And then Al, Frank, and Dan with the Vikings and the Cowboys. That's a 4 o'clock start in Big D as we roll into the playoffs.
Although the Cowboys got beat today at RFK, and what a great ceremony it was for that old war horse of a place. God, what a great place to play. Best in the National Football League.
Good protection for Musgrave and overthrows a wide open Vaughn Hebron.
You know, like talking about the Cowboys, they really, I think, caught a break not having to win that game at RFK today. I think had a chance to rest Emmitt Smith in particular, but Troy gets a little break. The linemen get a little rest. You know, they're going to be a team to contend with. Let us not forget that is the World Championship team.
And even some reports that Jay Novacek may be ready for the playoffs. What a huge boost that would be.
I'd be surprised if that happened.
Craver, the single setback. Sayal comes on the blitz, can't get there. The pass complete out to the 47-yard line. Byron Chamberlain with a ball that somehow got through the defense.
Pass complete to number 86, Byron Chamberlain.
Byron Chamberlain was a top receiver in the World League. Had 58 catches last year for 8 touchdowns.
8 yards.
There's Junior Sayal just continuing to do what he does. Here he comes on the blitz. Now they get to block him. Malin doing a good job. Look at his coverage. What a nice catch. The heir apparent to Shannon Sharp. Someday in the distant future.
Very distant. Musgrave bobbles the snap. Junior nails it. Incomplete is the rolling. Junior got a free run at Musgrave. The problem was compounded because he bobbled the snap. I think when he looked down at the ball, he almost lost his head.
Well, Junior just continues to come from different places on the line. One time it's the right end. Now he's right down here on the left end. There's a clean shot. Vaughn Hebron really doesn't pick him up and should have. You know, that's when you really need your backs to be aware of where the blitz pickup's got to be.
Junior Sayal with another remarkable performance. Charlie Jones waiting on Ruin's punt. Not a real good one. He'll make the fair catch at the 18-yard line. 36-yard punt, but no return.
Is called by Charlie
Junior
Jones.
Sayal with his emotion and his athletic ability carrying the Chargers to a 3-point lead.
Defensive lineman John Randall in our playoff edition of the Spotlight. Minnesota's had a roller coaster ride to the playoffs, but the one constant has been defense, and Randall in particular. This guy is one of the best players at his position in the history of the National Football League. As a tackle, he plays with incredible power. Who will ever forget how he embarrassed Kevin Gogan earlier this year on a Sunday night game? He plays with unmatched quickness and speed. He's got one of the fastest get-offs in the National Football League. Now, you throw in moves like this helicopter spin, and you can see what John Randall is, an artist and an offensive lineman's nightmare, Mike.
He's a lot of fun to watch, isn't he? Here's Fletcher out in the flat with a great move. Terrell Fletcher. Torrey James was whiffing at air. Let's go back to Mark.
All right, Mike, we were talking about John Randall. Here are his numbers, and when you look at these numbers, 11.5 sacks jump out. It's 91. He has more sacks, 69, than any other interior lineman in football. And what makes him even tougher is that this year he's playing all 4 defensive line positions. That means that an offensive lineman not only has to prepare for his man, but he's got to prepare for Randall as well. That's tough.
And before Mark, he had the advantage of having Henry Thomas play beside him. Bradley on the delay gets a couple up to the 34. Bill Musgrave headed down the tunnel toward the locker room.
That's after the shot that Junior Seau gave him. Warming up is Jeff Lewis out of Northern Arizona.
Young man who has not played yet in the National Football League, but it looks like he's going to get his opportunity.
Well, he posted some big numbers at school.
You notice John Elway didn't go running for his hat.
They're running out of them, though. John's hoping Jeff can handle it.
Humphreys on 2nd and 6. Throws short and Roach. Nice catch. Trying to get the first down yardage. Got to the 40. Of course, Mark was just talking about the Vikings and the pass rush provided by John Randall. How about the big contract Brad Johnson just signed? It looked like Warren Moon is either going to have to accept a pay cut in the backup role or go somewhere else.
I don't think he will. I think Warren Moon will go someplace else and compete as a starter or have the opportunity to be a starter. I can't see him in a backup role. It's just not in his nature. And I don't think he serves a football team in a backup role because a healthy Warren Moon over somebody's shoulder is not good.
Bradley on 3rd and 1. First down. And certainly Brad Johnson deserves that contract. He has played exceptionally well since he's taken over the job.
Mike, it was always my contention when I played that as long as you didn't give the other guy a chance to show what he has, you would keep your job. And in this case, you got some of the other free agents that are out there. Elvis Gerbeck, of course, Scott Mitchell. Of course, you don't know what's going to happen in Detroit. Terry Allen. I think it's important they try and keep Terry Allen. Jerome Bettis had that clause built in. Daryl Johnston. There's talk that Norv Turner may try and get him up in Washington.
Here's Bradley again. Nice hole up the middle. Breaking tackles. Freddie Bradley to the Denver 41-yard line. When you look at that list of free agents, Gerbeck tops the list because the 49ers have to make a decision. You cannot pay 2 number 1 quarterbacks that kind of money, not with a salary cap.
If I'm Gerbeck, I look for a deal somewhere around 10, 12 million with an escalator. If I get the job, that way it gives them a little bit of flexibility in the transition in their quarterback position. I think, for him to leave and have Steve Young not have somebody behind him hurts the organization.
13 carries, 54 yards for Freddie Bradley, who's had a good night. They'll give it to him again. Lost his footing, got up, and still made something out of it to the 38-yard line. Bradley played at Moore Park Junior College and broke most of O.J. Simpson's running records there. Or National Junior College records that were set by Simpson. Then he went on to Sonoma State, but he only played there 1 year. Had a medical red shirt. 1 year he was out for academics. So Freddie Bradley has not played a whole lot of football, certainly at a level of competition that would prepare him for the NFL.
Yeah, but you'd think, there was another guy that played there that maybe you wouldn't think had been that way either. A guy by the name of Larry Allen with the Cowboys.
Humphreys on 2nd and 8 and throws behind the intended receiver, Charlie Jones.
Ralph Friedgen, the offensive coordinator for Bobby Ross, has been able to get into, like you said, Mike, a little bit of a rhythm. There's Ralph right in the middle.
Boy, the report on Bill Musgrave is bad. He has a dislocated right shoulder. And depending on the severity of it, he may not be ready for the playoffs at all.
In all likelihood, if it's dislocated, he won't be. I had one, and that's something that just takes some time.
Here comes the blitz against Humphreys. He unloads complete to the 31-yard line. Charlie Jones with the catch. Torrey James on the coverage. They will play either the 4th or 5th of January, but 2 weeks, probably not enough for a dislocated shoulder. You always have some ligament damage with it.
Especially the throwing shoulder, Mike. If it's the off one, they can strap it down. But if it's the throwing one, it's a problem.
It will be 4th and short. All the fans yell, go. Well, it's been a tough year for Bobby Ross. He dedicated this season to his father, who passed away earlier in the year, and said he knew he would give it everything he had. But the breaks simply haven't come Bobby Ross's way. And now he's going to have to make a decision on a couple of assistant coaches for next year, whether the organization tries to force him to do something there.
Yeah, he and Bobby Beathard will sit down and evaluate this football team and come up with some answers. They need some people. I think they need a wide receiver to complement Tony Martin. I think Charlie Jones can get there given time, but I think if you can find somebody right away, it helps.
Harry Swain, 72, and is a tackle eligible on 4th and short. Quarterback keeper. He needed to get just to the 30-yard line, and it appears that he did. Stan can put that 230 pounds to good work on that sneak.
Yeah, and you know something? For a guy as big as he is, he's got great feet and moves around in a pocket well, gets back, gets set. And he carries it well.
He gets the least publicity of, I put him in the class with elite quarterbacks in this league.
Yep.
He gets the least publicity of any of them.
Stan's just going to follow the surge up the right side. That line does a good job. I always look at who gets under who. If the defense gets under the offense, you're not moving an inch. If the offensive line can get under that defensive line, you can pick up a yard or a half.
First down, San Diego. They have really responded well tonight. If you weren't with us at the beginning, they made one mistake after another early. We're down 10-0 as a result of 2 interceptions, and have fought their way back into this.
I just didn't think that all the players were focused. I didn't think Tony Martin came out focused in this game. I think everybody now is playing football.
Humphreys dumps it underneath Bradley. Freddie Bradley down to the 10. Atwater threw a shoulder into him there along with Braxton.
Mike, I think Freddie Bradley is going to be one of the guys that they have to look at next year to step up, because he does have the quickness once he gets in the secondary to turn it up. Here he does a nice job of just working free. Keeps working for Stan. Then makes a good catch with his hands. Now protects the ball as he gets into traffic.
Didn't let it get into his body. Getting the first start of his career. Another first down for the Chargers. Humphreys wants to throw again and almost caught by Jones.
Nice play by Randy Hilliard, number 21, though. Boy, he just manages to knock it away. This is a quick slant. He's just going to try and run it up inside real quick. Stan's going to let this thing go in a heartbeat. Randy's just going to get a hand in. Just manages to get that left thumb up there.
Hilliard playing for the injured Ray Crockett. Spread the field with 4 wide receivers. Draw, Fletcher. Fletcher dives inside the 5. Got away from Atwater and Aldridge.
Boy, those safeties support fast.
Don't they?
I mean, you got to remember, Atwater's lined up at least 10, 12 yards away. Stan starts back, so he's got to respect the pass a little bit. And then as soon as he reads it, boy, he's coming in a heartbeat.
Every time I look at the numbers on Atwater, it says he's been in the NFL for 8 years. I swear he's played for 15.
And he's always got 140 tackles.
Doesn't he? 13th play of this drive coming. 3rd down. Comes the blitz. Unloads. Incomplete in the end zone. That could have been caught. Humphreys unloaded in a hurry, and the rookie couldn't catch it again. Charlie Jones got a hand on it.
Remember I talked about where he throws the football, Mike? He throws it down low so that the receivers get a chance to make plays. Here's another one. This is the strength of his arm. The ball's down low. Charlie Jones just doesn't catch it. He's had 2 drop, one by Terrell Fletcher, the other now by Charlie Jones.
That should have been a
Both
touchdown.
the young guys haven't come up with plays.
And they had a touchdown taken away on an official's call when Harry Swain caught one from a tackle eligible. Humphrey's very frustrated tonight.
And has every right to be.
So they'll go with a chip shot field goal. Carney has already hit from 21 and 50. Knocks that one through. 29 out of 36 for the year for John Carney. And the San Diego Chargers extend their lead to 6 points with 33 seconds to go in the third quarter. And look at the difference in the numbers for Stan Humphries. Really turned it around in the second half, but he could have 5, 6 more catches added to those numbers.
And at least 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
No, he's a true professional. What we've seen from Junior Seau on the defensive side of the ball to keep on hammering away, same kind of effort here by Stan Humphries.
National Hockey Night, Thursday at 8 Eastern, as Dino Ciccarelli and the Tampa Bay Lightning host their in-state rivals, the Florida Panthers, led by John Van Beesbrook and Ray Shepard, on National Hockey Night, Thursday at 8. 33 seconds to go, third quarter, and we are told that John Elway will come in to play the final 33 seconds of this quarter. Remember the rules. If Lewis came in as the emergency quarterback, which he is designated tonight, if he came in and got hurt
before the fourth quarter started, nobody else could come back in.
Elway would be out, and then you would go to your real emergency quarterback. So John will finish out the last 33 seconds, and then Lewis will get to play the fourth quarter.
I don't think this was part of John's program.
No, or Mike Shanahan. Hebron, the deep man, on the kickoff, and Carney crushes one and knocks it through the end zone. So Elway will start from his own 20.
Out of the end zone for a touchback.
And Junior Seau has finally called it a night, and I'm glad to see it, quite honestly. You don't want to see somebody of his great talent and his great heart take a chance on hurting himself any further.
Not any further. They would not have let him out on the field, I think, too, Mike, if they felt like he really could have damaged it much more.
Elway. To Hebron on the sweep. Hebron hitting the backfield and dropped. Marco Coleman with a big stop from the right side. And you had the feeling John was going to be in there to do one thing, and that was hand it off. The clock is running. They won't have to run another play, and John is already headed to the sideline.
Marco Coleman has not made the big plays that Leslie O'Neal made at that end position, but he's been a real solid defensive lineman.
John Elway's encore doesn't produce much. End of 3 quarters, a 6-point lead. Winds of change in the NFL, perhaps. The changes, the job openings that already have occurred. Rich Kotite, he said he didn't quit and he wasn't fired. I'm not sure what he did, but he's not there anymore. Right. The Giants, Dan Reeves expected to be fired tomorrow. New Orleans, Rick Venturi almost certain not to be asked back, and Rich Brooks canned today after losing with a 6-10 record. Jeff Lewis is on to play quarterback. Lewis in the flat to Craver. Craver diving across the 20 to about the 22. And of course, New England is on our list because Bill Parcells' contract will be up at the end of this year. He and Bob Kraft will sit down for when the season's over, and a lot of speculation around the league from people that know Bill and say he may or may not be back. He may definitely go somewhere else. Others say he's definitely going to stay.
Let me tell you something. Knowing Bill as we've known him over the years, he hasn't made his mind up yet. I think to think that he might do anything is pure conjecture at this point.
3rd and 9. Lewis in the shotgun. Here comes the blitz. He unloads. Tip pass. McCaffrey nearly got it. Now there is a flag down. That was almost reminiscent of the Minnesota game with McCaffrey wide open on the tip play. Holding against the defense, that will be an automatic first down on 3rd and 9.
Holding number 40, defense. That's a 5-yard penalty. First down.
Mark Montroy called for the hold.
Mark Montroy, number 40, up against Rod Smith. You're allowed to jam inside of 5. And he's just hand fighting. I don't, this may be the last regular season game, and a little bit of hand contact, they called it.
Lewis straight back against the 4-man rush. Dumps it short to Smith. And Smith out to the 33-yard line before he's gang tackled. Of course, we talked about coaching changes, speculation about the future of Bobby Ross. There were rumors earlier in the year that Bobby was actively looking to go somewhere else. He told us there is no truth to those rumors. He will come back. He would love to come back. He has a contract that runs a couple of more years. He said the other day, he says, geez, I just hope I don't get fired the way this season is going. I don't think there's any chance of that.
I don't either. I think they
guy's a quality coach.
And they just need to find the right kind of personnel. 2 or 3 players make a world of difference for them.
Craver, big hole up the middle, running hard to the 47-yard line. Harrison finally makes the tackle. One other thing about Bobby Ross, I have known him for a long time. He's not only an excellent football coach, he's a terrific person.
And that's what he looks for on his football team.
Yes,
he looks for character guys, and you see it in guys like Stan Humphries, like Junior Seau.
Holding. 64. Offense. It's a 10-yard penalty. Second down.
So Ralph Tam, the backup center, called for the hold, so that big gain will come back for Craver. A lot of second-team guys on the field right now for Mike Shanahan.
Bobby Beathard, right? You can't hide. There you are, Bobby. I got you. There he is. Keeping an eye on what's going on. Alex Spanos, the owner next to him.
One of the best personnel men ever to be involved in this league is Bobby Beathard. Lewis with the deep out, too tall for Jeffers.
You know, Mike, I like Jeff Lewis coming out of college. Matter of fact, I thought coming out of school, he had the most natural delivery, great feet getting back in the pocket, a lot of quicks. I liked everything he did. And the thing that really impressed me is he protects the football. We saw his stats before, 22 touchdowns, only 3 interceptions in his senior year out of 316 passes. So he's smart with the football as well. I think this one's got a really bright future. Unfortunately, he plays behind John.
Got a national record for the lowest interception rate in 1AA. Here comes the blitz. Lewis in trouble. Somehow got out of it. Now he turns into a running back. Lewis to the 42. What a play by the rookie.
Young John running around out there.
John's thinking the same thing.
Watch him dance in the pocket. They bring the blitz. Harrison comes outside. Bush comes, makes one miss, makes another one miss. Good quickness. Now he just gets around the corner. Little half a straight arm. Lose half your sock.
Boy, he took a shot from Harrison at the end of that play, too. The rookie will learn to slide.
Yeah, I hope he grows some hair, too.
Play action. And complete to McCaffrey for about 9. Now they're ruling it incomplete to say McCaffrey didn't catch it. Of course, we're talking about Lewis playing behind Elway, but we have seen other guys who had to play behind superstar quarterbacks that have come through this year and found a way, like Brad Johnson, who gets the tremendous contract. He went 66 games before he could get in.
That's the
Detmer went
there.
70. Gerback 39. Mark Brunell, who I think is going to be just an incredible quarterback, had to go 35 games before he got a start.
And I think the reason why they've been as effective as they have is because they've had a chance to sit and watch and learn.
Play clock was running down. Lewis calls a timeout. 12:09 to go in the game. Chargers by 6 in San Diego.
Sunday Night NFL is brought to you by MasterCard. MasterCard, it's smart money. By McDonald's, official restaurant of the NFL and home of the deluxe sandwiches. They're McDonald's with a grown-up taste. And by AT&T, your true choice.
We're in San Diego where the Chargers lead the Broncos 16-10, 12:09 left to go in the game. Denver with the ball at its own 42, facing a 2nd and 10 with rookie Jeff Lewis at the helm. Under pressure, Carswell makes the catch up at the 48-yard line. It's going to be about 4 yards shy of a first down. And it wouldn't be the holidays without that gentleman. Bob Hope, the legendary entertainer, has graced us with his presence tonight here at Jack Murphy Stadium in San Diego.
Mr. Hope has had a busy day. I saw him in a golf tournament earlier today.
Right.
He's just zipping around all the big events. Of course, this time of year, he's a very, very close friend of Mr. Spanos, and this time of year he used to entertain the troops all over the world.
They had done a little song and dance together. Rayleigh Johnson may have been offside. Lewis stops thinking he was. Then Lewis takes off and has a first down at the 38. Either Rayleigh Johnson got the fastest start in the history of football, or he was offside.
You know, that was a quarterback draw, and what Jeff Lewis did was he was patient enough to allow the rush to come and then pick and choose the way he wants to go. Most of the time, when you run a quarterback draw, you want to get there in a hurry. See how he waits? He just hesitates a second. Now, the rush has been set. The holes open up. Now you get to explode through. Really a quick runner. I'm surprised at how quick he is.
Vaughn Hebron, his running back. Lewis on the roll. Carswell can't get there. Pass just a little wide. 2 longest plays of the night belong to Lewis. Runs of 18 and 14 yards.
Great teacher, too, and Gary Kubiak. As you mentioned, Mike, a long time back up at Johns.
Boy, and every time he got a chance to play, he just played wonderfully. Uh-oh. Somebody hit the eggnog early.
There's a person that should not be in white spandex. I've got to be honest with you. There are clothes for people. Those are not the clothes for that person.
Lewis unloads. McCaffrey can't get it out of bounds.
Pass incomplete. There is a penalty flag on the field.
And there is a marker down. It looked like Don Sassa may have been offside.
All sides, nose guard, defense, lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
The scary thing is that probably used to fit.
And with the number 110, I can see why.
Oh, enough.
Yeeks. Ouch.
She makes Dennis Rodman look normal. 2nd and 5. Play action again by Lewis. Nice patience and got it to Chamberlain. It was like a 3-on-2 play in basketball. You had Lewis, 2 receivers, and 2 defenders. He just waited to see who went which way.
And he really did. He bought some time, just real, like you said, real patience, just moving along, not in a hurry to force it down the field. Wait for the linebacker to commit and then just dump it off.
They're going to bring the chains in from the far side. The indication is short by the length of a football, but those are not the official chains on that side of the field.
I also like what Gary Kubiak and Mike Shanahan are doing with Jeff Lewis. Knowing that Musgrave is hurt, they're giving him a chance not to just come in there and hand the ball off, but they're getting him ready just in case he has to play down the road for him. Moving him in the pocket, let him throw the football, run this quarter just like you would a game.
Now, the reason those chains are off on the far side, that is just an estimate from that chain gang. They are looking across the field and trying to pick the best spot. It is not official. Denver with a pretty good drive here. They've reached the San Diego 28-yard line. Lewis straight back this time. Again, McCaffrey with a catch. Flags are down at the line of scrimmage. thrown right into the middle of the line, and in a holding call will bring it back.
Flag on the field.
Holding. Number 68. Offense. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Reggie McElroy, number 68. See him right there on the right part of your screen. He's going to try and pick up the blitz of Gouveia late and just gets the old arm out and has a takedown. A spinner move. A spinner takedown.
That'll back him up to the 38-yard line, 1st and 20.
That'll give you a passing lane, I'll tell you that.
Yes, it will. First and 20 for the rookie, Jeff Lewis. Got 4 receivers to the right side. He goes back to the other side. Complete to Smith. Got half of it back to the original line of scrimmage. Mark Montoy made the tackle.
I'll tell you what else I like about Jeff Lewis is I like the way he gets rid of the football. The ball comes out real quick. There's no hesitation, and it's a quick release. When you've got decisive routes being run by your receivers and you get the ball out in a hurry, good position. See how he keeps it up around his chest? No wasted movement. A lot of guys carry it down around the belt. That means it has to come all the way up. By the time you see the receiver open, the ball gets there, he's covered.
2nd and 10. Again, they flood the right side of the field. Lewis has room to run again. Got a block. Gouveia still got a shoulder into him at the 24. They need to reach the 18 for a first down.
That time Ed McCaffrey wasn't sure what to do, whether to try and run a route, try and throw a block, try and get open.
John Perella threw a shoe. He has been a very good player this year for San Diego. Bobby Ross praised him the other day. A guy who just goes out there and works hard every play, the former Buffalo Bill. 3rd and 6. Here comes the blitz. McCaffrey is open. McCaffrey breaks a tackle and may have the first down. If they give him forward progress, he will at the 16-yard line.
You know, that's just typical Ed McCaffrey. He caught that thing 3 yards short of the first down marker, knows exactly where he has to get to. Reads the blitz, coming off, see right away. He's 4 yards short. He's got to get over the 25. There it is, or the 15, excuse me. Gets down, first down.
Oh, look at this. Here comes Junior. Game is now on the line again with 7:45 to go, and they can't keep him out. Von Hebron is the back deep in the eye. Lewis in the flat to Smith. Got Willie Clark to give up about 4 yards before he shoved him out of bounds.
Pass complete to number 80, Ross
Junior
Smith.
Seau still limping, obviously, on that right leg, which he injured early in the game. 7 tackles, 2 fumble recoveries. He's batted down 4 and has hit the quarterback twice. All of that on one leg. Not bad. There's just no quitting that guy. None. 2nd and 3. The Chargers trying to finish at 500. Keep it on the ground, trying to get the first down with Hebron.
Mike, you mentioned getting to 500. 8-8 is very important for a player when there's nothing left after that. You've got a long 6 months to think about the last game you played in and being on a losing football team. That's what it means. It means, we're not losing. We didn't lose. 7-9, you're a losing football team.
3rd and short again on this drive, and now another injury for the Chargers. This is Gouveia, the middle linebacker, who tried to limp off the field and just fell. And this drive has been a very impressive one behind rookie Jeff Lewis. There's Kurt Gouveia, former Redskin and the former Eagle. We will check on his condition when we come back. Here is the bronze storyline from San Diego with a 16-10 Charger lead. Terrell Davis set 3 team records tonight. 1,538 rushing yards to lead the NFL. 13 rushing touchdowns, 15 total touchdowns. As we said, all three Bronco records. San Diego with only 68 yards of offense in the first half. They have come alive in the second. Both teams have committed 3 big turnovers that resulted in 20 of the 26 combined points. Gouveia finally able to leave the field with help.
He just gets...
Oh.
They just bend that knee back. Ouch.
Dwayne Gordon will check in for him, number 52. On 3rd and a yard. This drive started with 33 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. Lewis throws for the end zone, intercepted by Harrison. What a play by the 3rd-year safety, his 5th interception.
Good safeties, they'll give the quarterback the illusion that a receiver is open, but it isn't always that way. This time, Rodney Harrison makes the big play.
7 turnovers in the game. The first mistake for Lewis as he throws the interception in the end zone. San Diego will start from the 19. Keep it on the ground with Freddie Bradley for maybe a yard.
That was a good drive, though, by Jeff Lewis.
Excellent.
Well, the thing is Rodney Harrison's got Carswell covered, and down around the goal line, you can't hang it up. It's got to get there in a heartbeat, or the guy's got to be running towards a boundary. Then you can put a little air under.
Kurt Gouveia being taken to the locker room after injuring that knee. The drive for Denver, 9 minutes, 21 seconds, went 72 yards, and they get nothing out of it. Humphrey, short set, throws, won't get much out of that. Excellent coverage by the rookie, Torrey James, as they threw a bullet into Charlie Jones, the rookie from Fresno State. Nice bounce back by Humphreys tonight after a very rugged start.
Well, the thing that you want to be as a quarterback, no matter what's going on around you, is you have to try and remain some sense of consistency, and that's what he did.
Terrell Fletcher comes in on 3rd and a yard. Humphreys to throw for it. Throws short, complete to Jones. Breaks a tackle. Jones out of bounds at the 45 by Torrey James.
Remember the touchdown pass that Charlie Jones caught earlier in the game? This is the same exact route. You run him out on a little angle out, bring him back down underneath, let him make the play. Watch on the left side. See how he starts back in. Now it's just a question of a good burst and turns the speed on.
Got away from Randy Hilliard. First down Chargers, 4:46 left to go in the game. They're protecting a 6-point lead. Bradley back in as the tailback. And he'll get the carry. Denver closes on him, no gain. And now Denver is going to have to think about start using its timeouts very shortly. Coming up next, Sportscenter. Dan Patrick, Keith Olbermann standing by. They'll get you caught up on the day in sports. The Jaguars with a miracle finish to make the playoffs. Our conversation with George Seifert and a milestone for the great Brett Hull. That, of course, will be followed by Prime Time, hosted by Chris Berman. We invite you to stay tuned for those. A lot of Charger fans still on hand tonight to see if their club can go to 8-8. 2nd and 10, approaching 4 minutes. Play action by Humphreys. Nice throw on the run. Beautiful toss to Tony Martin. Martin going to his first Pro Bowl this year, coming into the game more than 1,100 yards receiving.
Gain of 11 yards.
You want to push this up the field against Darius Johnson? See how he concentrates? He doesn't tip it off. At the last minute, he makes that plant and then comes back out and makes the reception.
3:58 left. Martin, who languished in Miami and then blossomed in San Diego. Back to the ground with Bradley. They sealed the left side, and Freddie Bradley pounds for 6, maybe 7 yards before Alan Aldridge makes the tackle. The linebackers for Denver, who have played so well all year long, have been relatively quiet tonight.
Well, they have, but you know, when they got Bill Romanowski, by putting him outside at what's called the will linebacker, the weak side linebacker, it allowed them to move Alan Aldridge inside. Now, Aldridge has a lot of speed, 6'1", 245, but really can move. Now they've got 3 linebackers in Mobley, Aldridge, and Romanowski that can all run as well as be run stoppers.
2nd and 4. Bradley. No room up the middle. Tim Houck, number 37, closed from the safety spot.
There's Romo.
Stop on number 37.
Tremendous acquisition as a free agent pickup.
5 NFC championship games. Leading tackler this year. 2 Super Bowl rings.
Clock running, 2:54 left to go.
He describes this football team, the Denver Broncos defense. He was telling Coach Robinson, there are no egos on this defense. They're a very unselfish group. Everybody does what they're supposed to do. And there's a guy that's really come on and made an impact, John Mobley. The number 1 pick.
3rd and 4. Fletcher in the game. Humphreys throwing. Incomplete. Dropped by Deems May. Would have been another first down, and that's the story of Stan Humphreys' night. He's had at least a half a dozen drops.
Number 25, Darius Johnson, defending for the Broncos.
He has really put the ball where he wants all night. I mean, and you know, the only way it makes it easier is if they have handles on him. And that's how much he misses Alfred Papuno, really.
Absolutely. And Papuno was playing brilliantly.
Papuno, Courtney Hall, we talked about it, Mike. You know, Dwayne Harper on the other side of the ball. When you don't have those playmakers, it's hard to win games.
Rod Smith back waiting on the punt. They come after Bennett, don't get there. Flags are down. And they may have been able to kill it inside the 5. No, they're saying it's a touchback, and now we'll check the penalty.
There is a penalty flag on the field.
Was a 4th and 4. If it's offside, it would be a first down as they came after the punter. And that's exactly what it is. San Diego will get a new set of downs with 2:21 to go in the game. Talk about great coaching jobs. Mike Shanahan, who was fired by the Raiders, worked his magic in San Francisco, came to Denver, and has done an exceptional job here.
Five-yard penalty. 5-yard penalty. That's a first down. The number is 34.
The thing about Mike Shanahan tonight, he wanted to rest his starters, get them a little bit of action, make sure they were sharp. He'd love to have won the game, but if he doesn't, hey, he accomplished his purpose.
Keep them healthy. Keep them healthy. There's Courtney on the left and Alfred Papuno on the right, guarding the garbage can.
Bradley will be taken down.
I guess if you can't play, it's a good thing to guard the garbage can.
They will not have to run another play before the 2-minute warning. San Diego with a 6-point lead at home against Denver. We have reached the 2-minute warning.
And the playoff edition of our Sunday night spotlight. The Carolina Panthers, perhaps the biggest story of this NFL season. Their defense unknown, but coming into the final week of the season, their offense was ranked 6th in scoring. One of the big reasons, tight end Wesley Walls in our Packard Bell spotlight is a big target, able to work underneath on linebackers and find the soft spots in coverage. Even against some of the more nimble defensive backs split out on 3rd down, Walls is able to use his combination of strength and speed to beat tight coverage and pick up those critical first downs. Mike?
Marquis is the go-to guy when they get close to the end zone. 2nd and 15 for San Diego. Humphreys changing the play. And Stan is back to throw, wants to go deep. Overthrows Martin.
Pass incomplete.
Let's go back to Mark Malone.
All right, Mike, as you look at the numbers, you can see what an impact Walls has made on the second-year quarterback, Kerry Collins. When Collins needs a big catch, he looks for Walls. His 9 red zone touchdowns leads all tight ends in the NFL. In fact, Carolina head coach Dom Capers has instructed Collins to throw the ball to Walls, even if he looks covered, because the former 49er tight end will somehow find a way to make the big catch. That's the big reason for their offensive success.
Well, that's got to give a quarterback a lot of confidence, too, when you throw it up there and you know your guy is more than likely to come down with it.
Yes, it does, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, a guy named Art Monk.
You're right.
3rd and 15. Humphreys to throw again. Here comes the blitz. They don't get there. Humphreys to Fletcher. Trying to break tackles and can't. He's brought down at the 35-yard line, but inbounds. Rondell Jones. And a timeout called with 1:44 to go in the game.
Once a single library held the knowledge of
Keith and Dan,
the Bopsy twins,
pretending to be busy while we're on the air. The Chargers have decided to punt from the 34-yard line.
I think it's a good decision. 4th down and 10. It's too long to try it. I think the field goal would be about 52. This way you can pin the Broncos back.
Otherwise, if the field goal's no good, you give them the ball at about their own 42-yard line.
But you can't kick it in the end zone, Mike. That's the only thing.
Bennett straight up trying to hang it. Fair catch made by Smith at the 9-yard line. So the Broncos will have to go 91 yards in a minute 37. This game aside, Joe, what's your evaluation of the Broncos' chances not only to make it to the Super Bowl, but maybe to win it?
I think they have a chance to win it all. I really believe this is the first year that the AFC has a legitimate shot to win a world championship. Talking to the Denver people, they'd like another shot at Green Bay. And, you know, you almost have to throw that one out because John Elway wasn't there, and he is such a big part of it. Michael Dean didn't play tonight, but I think that Denver, particularly the fact that they have home field all through the playoffs, I think gives them an edge.
Lewis scrambling around, gets it to Craver for a short gain up to the 16-yard line. Have only one timeout left.
Mr. Muscle, better known as Shannon Sharp.
Had a brilliant year. Lewis to Craver, can't handle this one. Lou Bush was there on the coverage. That'll bring up a 3rd and 4. This will be the end of our 10th year of Sunday Night Football. It's hard for me to believe.
You and I have been together 9 years.
Yeah, it's remarkable.
I tell you, I've enjoyed it.
It's been fun,
too. It's been a fun year, yeah. What a great crew we work with. Great bunch of people. Quite candidly, I think the best in the business.
Absolutely, and they work so hard. We think we work hard sometimes, but not compared to them.
I don't think you work very hard.
Thanks.
You enjoy it too much.
Oh, I do that. Lewis trying to make something happen on 3rd down, and Harrison with a safety blitz gets him on the sack at the 10.
Hey, Rodney Harrison has made some big plays tonight. We've seen Junior all over the football field from the linebacker position, but Rodney Harrison has been up supporting the run quickly. He's been back intercepting passes. Now we see him on a blitz on the outside making the play.
Bobby Ross loves him.
He'll come from down here. There's number 37 moving in. Does a good job of defeating the block of Aaron Craver, and then just stays with it.
Denver has now used its last timeout. They'll be facing a 4th and 10 from the 10.
See, you could see in Jeff Lewis the youth of playing the quarterback position at this level. A lot of young quarterbacks, all they see is the rush. You don't see down the field. You have to feel the rush and look down the field. And that's what you get once you play. That's what makes, I think, John Elway so effective. He feels people around him, moves around, and then makes a decision. Do I run or do I throw it down the field?
Last gasp for the Broncos. John Elway says, boy, 14 and 2 sounds a lot better than 13 and 3. They'll need a miracle now. Lewis airs one out for Smith, out of bounds. They'll lose the ball on downs with 57 seconds to go. Bobby Ross, who has never had a losing season, said he wanted this badly, and he is now on the verge of having it because Denver can't stop the clock. The Chargers will finish at 8-8.
You know, it's not a consolation, but it gives you a good feeling with Christmas coming up this week. And I think for Mike Shanahan, he's got to be thrilled now that the last 3 games of the season are over. Now he can sit down and start plotting his course through the playoffs of what he wants to do.
Because once you clinch it, the only thing that occupies your mind is guys getting hurt.
Exactly. And you don't want to sit them. You can't sit them down for 4 weeks.
No.
You have to let your starters play. Boy, there's a courage award right there. Junior Seau with one of the most courageous performances we've seen. Hobbling around on a leg and a half, making play after play.
Literally had to be carried off the field. At one point, they sent the cart out for him to take him into the locker room.
He sent it back.
Yes, he did. And then came out and played remarkably. Of course, if this is any kind of an omen for Denver, the last 20 Super Bowl winners were 17-3 in their final regular season game.
Well, they want to be the 4th. They may not be 18, but they just as soon be 4th.
Mike Shanahan and Bobby Ross, 2 guys with a lot of respect for each other and respect from the rest of the coaches and players around the league. Our final score, the San Diego Chargers 16, the Denver Broncos 10. Coming up next, Sportscenter with Dan Patrick and Keith Olbermann. We'll take a look at these stories, the Jaguars into the playoffs, a conversation with George Seifert, and a look at Brett Hall. For Joe Theismann, Mark Malone, and our entire ESPN crew, this is Mike Patrick. Good night from San Diego. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Junior Seau with an inspirational performance. SportsCenter is next in 30 seconds.
Now, on SportsCenter, the playoff jostling ends in a fashion unbelievable.
At that point, I'm praying for just about anything. I was hoping hail would come down, anything to distract the kicker.
Putting the G in field goal attempt. Putting the Panthers at home. And what about the Colts? Shouldn't Jim be asleep for this? Over. Somebody almost asleep after this. Fuller Brushman calling. He either really doesn't like the Packers or he saw too much Three Stooges growing up. Speaking of Stooges, Elvis has left the building. And he's not alone. And I don't even want to know about this. Village People reunion? There were ifs and there were buts.
Ifs and buts with candies and nuts every day will be Christmas.
Thank you. Nuts, huh? Nut as in head, as in Adam Keefe. Nut as in cheesehead, beautifully decorated for the coming holiday in Beaver Dam. Big day in hockey for the Golden Brat. Big day at RFK. No, Hoffa's buried in the Meadowlands. Your genial hosts are ready with SportsCenter. Next.
Holiday greetings. Welcome to the big show alongside tag team partner Keith Olbermann. I'm Dan Patrick.
Coming up from World Headquarters, fitting at this time of heavy shipping, $10,000 for the mailman. Another vet delivers number 500, and George Seifert will join us for the Sunday conversation.
But we start with the best ending of the day and one of the best of the season. It is safe to assume you did not have this game circled when the season began, or even 1 month ago when Jacksonville stood with a 4-7 record. But thanks to 4 consecutive wins, the Jaguars set the stage for Sunday's home date with the Falcons. Win, and you're in. Hard hit it. Ironhead drills Jeff Lageman and then takes it out on his helmet. First quarter, no score. Mark Brunell continues his Steve Young impersonation right down to the number. 7-0 Jaguars. 16-10 Jaguars as we move to further action because the highlights are better. Mike Hollis, 42 yards out. It is post time. And it's good. 4th field goal of the day. 19-10. Safe lead for the Jaguars. Well, maybe not. Ironhead. 19-17 Jaguars. 19-17 Falcons get the ball back. Bobby Hebert to Tyrone Brown. And he nearly broke this one. 23-yard gain. Morton Anderson warming up in the bullpen. 3rd and 5. Hebert. Jamal Anderson. A gain of 6. Morton Anderson, no relation, pacing. Clock winding down. Hebert positions the ball perfectly in the middle of the field. Morton Anderson, perhaps the greatest field goal kicker in NFL history. And he pushed it left.
It is from 31 yards. There's the snap. The placement. The kick is up. It's on the way. And it's no good. It's no good. It's no good. Morton Anderson is missed. And the Jaguars are going to the playoffs.
Morton Anderson had made 59 consecutive field goals from inside 30 yards in his career. The Falcons failed to beat anyone outside the NFC West this season. Following the game, the Jaguars spoke about what is and what could have been.
I feel great. You know, we were on the sideline. Everybody was nervous. You know, they have Morton Anderson, one of the greatest kickers to ever play this game. You know, I mean, it was a fortunate accident for us. You know, they didn't miss the kick. You know, everybody's happy. You know, we're elated. We're just ready to go in and celebrate.
It's like how often does Michael Jordan miss a free throw? Or how often does, you know, it doesn't happen very often, but this is magnified because it was a game winner. It was magnified because it got the Jaguars into the playoffs. And so I expect a lot of Christmas cards from people in Jacksonville from now on.
Despite being outgained on the ground and through the air in their last 5 games, the Jags have produced 5 wins. One big reason, they are +6 in the turnover margin during this span. They had been -9 in the same category in the previous 9 games. So the Chiefs needed to win in Buffalo to extend their season. Marty 7-0 in regular season finales. Marcus Allen stuffed by Sean Price, 2nd and goal. Play action. Bono out of Keith Cash's reach. KC settles for a field goal. They led 3-0. Bono 1 for 7 for 9 yards in the first half. Third quarter, Chiefs lead 9-3. Bruce Smith, great stunt inside, hurdles Dave Zott, strips Bono the ball. Phil Hansen recovers. Bills in business. They trail 9-6 early in the 4th. Kelly looking for Thurman Thomas. Went over 1,000 yards for the season. 28 yards on the reception. And the Bills 2nd and goal. Kelly looking to cash in. Tony Klein, first touchdown of the season. Bills lead at 13-9. 7:18 to go in the 4th. Not 7:19, not 7:17. Steve Bono looked like he got tipped at the line of scrimmage. Chris Spielman picks off the gift, takes it to the KC 40-yard line, fumbled it out of bounds. Bills ball. Tough day for Bono. The INT set up. Kelly, Quinn Early. Bills win it 20-9. Bruce Smith and the Bills headed back to the playoffs. Yes. Marty Schottenheimer, first time in 7 years, he is not going to the postseason. In fact, Kansas City fails to make the postseason for the first time in the 90s. They were the only team that had made the playoffs every season in the 90s. The Chiefs dropped 4 of their last 5. And following the game, the Chiefs spoke about their seat for the playoffs.
You always ask that same question, do losses hurt? Well, hell, all of them hurt. I don't give a which ones you have, all of them hurt. So, you know, me to sit there and say I got a meter to measure which losses hurt worse than other, they all hurt.
We got beat in Indianapolis, and then we come back. We had the same team, but for some reason or other throughout that offseason, a lot of hearts got taken, you know, and they didn't replace it with nothing.
It started hitting it home that, hey guys, if we don't win this, and we're home, and we have to look forward to the '97 season, and I don't think anybody was ready for that. I know I wasn't. And Ken Hall stated at halftime, he said, Jim, I'm not ready to quit. Yeah, he said, I still want to play.
Little FYI to the athletes. You know, when they turn on the camera, keep in mind, kids do watch SportsCenter. They really do. It's not just for grown-ups. Kids do. A public service announcement. The Chiefs still can't figure out how to beat the Bills in Buffalo. 2 of their 4 losses this decade have come in the postseason there. In the 4 losses, the Chiefs have been outscored 131-46.
Once anybody won that game, the Colts were in the playoffs, so they then held in their own unreliable hands the chance to host the wild card game, a very important consideration for a team that had been only 3-4 on the road this year. The only problem was they were visiting a team as hot as any in the second half. The Bengals had I Say It's Still Riverfront, and that's what I'm going to call it. Bruce Coslet looking for a 500 finish, and Jeff Blake looking for 500 yards in the air. He's looking for Carl Pickens. 52 will do. That will set up the Cincinnati 7-0 touchdown. Still in the first, Bengals are driving again, but here's Blake, and here's not Richard Belzer, but Jason Belzer. And he takes it back 21 yards. We're tied at 7. In the third, Indy trailing 17-10. There's Harbaugh. Long bomb off stride to Marvin Harrison. Not a touchdown, but nearly. We're tied again at 17. In the fourth, Bengals 2nd and 2. Nice short arm by Blake to Pickens. First Bengal in history to have 100 receptions in a season since you have 24-17. But then the ensuing Colts punt return is Aaron Bailey. Bailey? Which Bailey? And they're not gonna get him. And we're tied again at 24. Aaron, please save your self-congratulation for the end of the game. Bengals 1st and 10 from the 9. Blake to Tony McGee. Bengals ahead again, 31-24. Colts, though, have one last shot. With 6 seconds to go, here's Harbaugh. Nothing open, jump ball. Gerald Dixon pulls it down. He plays for Cincinnati. Bengals win 31-24, and they finish up 7-2 under Bruce Coslet. 8-8 overall, still their best record since 1990. Colts make the playoffs for the second year running for the first time since 1977, but they will have to go on the road. Here's the AFC schedule. Then Jacksonville at Buffalo on Saturday. That'll be the game on the Mother Network, ABC at 12:30 Eastern, and the Colts and Steelers on Sunday. Denver and the Patriots getting the AFC byes. Bye. In the NFC, could a second-year expansion team get a first-round bye? If Tom Capers could beat his old boss, the Panthers would. Speaking of old bosses, Kevin Green hits Mike Tomczak in the end zone. It's an intentional grounding and a safety. 9-0 Panthers. Now watch this. It's a punt. It's still live, except the mascot forgets or decides he wants to be in the highlights. Bill Cowher thought it was funny. The ref, Dick Hantak, did not think it was funny. You'll be suspended and wipe that stupid look off your face. Cordell Stewart in at quarterback for most of this game for the Steelers and showing the versatility that could make him someday the National Football League's MVP at any one of 2 positions, maybe 3. An 80-yard touchdown scrambled, the longest by a quarterback in NFL history, 14-9 thirds. Fourth quarter, 18-14 thirds. 4th and goal. Stewart hit Ernie Mills, and Ernie Mills hit the good zone. Just plain old dropped it. Next drive, less than 2 minutes to go. Key 3rd and 7. Stewart
takes a look.
And Andre Hastings. A great scoop in interference there, so we're now 1st and goal at the 1. Oh, but it's raining flags. Brendan Stye called for a false start, and then Cowher, a good craftsman, never blames his tools. So it's 2nd and goal in the same drive, as Bill says, think, or something to that effect. And now Stewart has no protection. Sean King, the other team's quarterback, must go down hard. 3rd down and goal, one last chance. Stewart to Hastings. Didn't get to Hastings. Got to Chad Cota instead for the interception. But a great move on Hastings. And the Panthers clinch the divisional title 18-14. Only the 3rd time in 14 years the Niners haven't taken the NFC West home. Panthers and Jags in the postseason in year 2. So you think this maybe will hop up the price for the next set of NFL expansion teams? Any other answers to any other questions?